PG, yeah, lads?
Yeah, PG.
Okay.
Cool.
Oh, no, why's the camera still there?
Go.
Right, okay.
All right, we are now live. Whew. Okay. I can't put a thumbnail on, which kind of sucks, but hey. It's all good. My
we're
God.
live.
Lethal, Sequence, Krang, Ace Solo. I apologise, guys, but yes, we are live for the official first Mark and Brandon podcasting through Star Wars. And today we've obviously got Jedi Singh, the legend.
Hello, guys.
All right.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jedi True. How are you?
Braster, do it.
Hello, everyone. My name is Azza True. How are you? And welcome back to another Star Wars Battlefront 2 video of mine.
FBI. Oh, God. Oh, wow. Jedi Singh, his channel should hopefully, if Nightbot works, it should appear. Who is Branster's Jedi Singh's split screen? Who knows? I mean, there you go. That is Jedi Singh's channel. Go and check him out, guys. Same with Branster as well.
Hey, I'm just here for the memes.
Always. Oh, we both did it. Okay. Topic of today, then, guys, is Star Wars gaming. Potentially, well, not controversial, I doubt, but a lot of things recently. A lot of things going on to talk about, I think. You know, there's Battlefront 2, obviously, which has been through a bit of a war, but it's getting there. Fallen Order coming out this year.
Star Wars Battlefront 2 had a rough start, you know, especially with the loot crates and the microtransactions. And then they took it out within the first... I think they took it out within the first hour of release or something.
So I think the way, like, the whole micro... Because, obviously, guys, many of you will know that when Battlefront 2 came out, it had loot boxes, microtransactions, all this controversial stuff, which essentially enforced the pay-to-win system for Battlefront 2, which caused a lot of anger and hate towards the game and EA and DICE and all that stuff. And I think it was the most downvoted thing on Reddit ever, I think, if I'm correct. But yeah, it basically, it wasn't good at all. They removed microtransactions, I believe. They got rid of microtransactions within like the first couple of days. So by the time the full release of the game had to come out, there were no microtransactions. But people were already ahead, which obviously wasn't great for some people.
And then obviously, if we look at in game, the characters like Vader, Palpatine, Luke were all 60,000 credits.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, that was the big problem as well.
That was the big problem, and people were like, "Well, these guys are, you know, they're the most important characters in the Star Wars universe." Iden Versio was 5,000 credits to unlock. You know, why was she cheaper than, you know, Vader and Luke?
Yeah, no, it's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I can sort of see why they may have done it, but just locking heroes from launch just is not, for me, just isn't the right way to go about it. And I'm one of those guys who literally grinded all the way through the game to get all the credits, which actually in turn I was able to then buy all of the heroes. So I spent all this time and credits actually buying all these heroes, but you know, they changed it obviously so that they're completely free for everyone, which is all well and good, but unfortunately for me, obviously I just spent all that time and you know, there's no kind of compensation or reward for it. But, you know, it's good that they changed it, of course. It is very good that they changed it back.
Yeah. And I do like the new progression system which they put in. How you have to spend skill points. And the fact is, your crafting parts, I remember it was like 420 crafting parts to get to Epic. And I thought, that's just ridiculous, you know?
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that the game didn't have the best launch at all.
No, absolutely not. No, it was an awful launch, let's be honest. Like, I enjoyed playing the game.
Now,
the gameplay was nice,
it's been the whole year, and the game is amazing. I love it, but there's still a lot of bugs. For me, that's not very good in the video game. If I want to play a game, I want to play it where there's hardly any bugs, like Call of Duty, things like that, or Battlefield. But Star Wars Battlefront, force powers don't work. They said they fixed it, but I've seen Luke cock up sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, even now, so they kept saying that they fixed it. the Down Count Dooku update obviously came out yesterday, and they were essentially meant to fix the Force powers, which they have done for the most part. Actually, Darth Maul's Force push now actually works. Luke's Force push and repulse works the majority of the time. He's still, as you say, he still kind of screws up a little bit, but it does work a lot better than what it has done in the past. Actually,
well, that's the thing. So after the terrible launch, do you both think that the game is starting to come back now? Do you think it's starting to make a bit of a comeback?
I'd definitely say so. Yeah, I'd definitely say so.
I would say so, definitely. I mean, it's attracted a new audience, especially with the new releases of the Clone Wars DLC.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's definitely going to attract a new audience.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of new players out on Twitter and everything, and yeah, everyone's getting the game now.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I've seen people. I had someone come into my stream. I think it was 2 days ago, and it's like, "Hi, you just got the game 2 weeks ago. Absolutely love it." So there are people people are still getting the game as it is now. It's definitely updating, getting to a place where it should have been. I don't think it will ever get to where it could potentially be by the end of its lifespan, but I think it's definitely getting a lot better.
But as Seekonk says, people still think it's a pay to win. It's not a pay to win anymore. They've completely scrapped it. It's not anymore. Yes, you do have to grind credits. I mean, I have 2.3 million credits on Battlefront 2.
Bloody hell!
And I don't know what to spend it on. I've got all the heroes. I've got everything I need.
Yeah, that's the thing. Kind of. People obviously still think it's a pay-to-win system, which technically the pay-to-win system was taken out after a few days. It's just a progression system. Took about 4 to 5 months to actually change, which I can understand that. They essentially had to recreate the progression system all from scratch. They had to get all of the effects for it, completely code the whole thing, and just do everything that they had to do, really. It's a massive part of their game, which they had to redevelop, which is understandable. It took so long, but I don't understand why people are still thinking it's a pay-to-win system when it's not been like that for over a year, honestly.
Well, as of right now, as far as we know, obviously we're getting Anakin and the large-scale game mode in February.
Yeah.
So what would you guys want after that to come to the game?
I will let Jedi Singh go first.
If I was a game developer and because I love Star Wars, I would like more hunt mode. So have Ewok hunt. On the original Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
We had Wampa hunt. We had Jawa hunt.
Yeah, because on Tatooine it was Jawas versus Tusken Raiders.
But the way I would want it is how when Anakin comes out, maybe bring out Coruscant, and a Galactic Assault mode would be nice, where the clones have to storm the Jedi Temple. And then you have to have Coruscant guards and Jedi reinforcements to protect the temple. So it's Galactic Assault, but it's not clones versus droids. It's clones versus Jedi, if you know what I mean.
That would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think that'd be really cool. Yeah,
because that would be able to give us a proper sense of Order 66. And actually, I think Galactic Assault would work perfectly for it, because it's all well and good having a hunt mode for Order 66, and a lot of people have genuinely asked for it. But I think Galactic Assault would work a lot better.
If they had the Wampa hunt mode, I'd absolutely love it, because I remember on the original Battlefront 2, you play as a rebel, and you see these big Wampas just coming straight chasing after you. It'd be good fun, especially with friends and all that. I mean, I have a lot of fun with Ewok hunt.
Yeah, I absolutely love Ewok.
If they bring out more hunt modes and bring out more of these game modes, it'll attract an even larger audience.
Yeah, and with like the Frostbite engine and everything, I think it looked beautiful as well.
But yeah, I mean, visually, there is no doubt that Battlefront 2 is visually stunning. I mean, you look at Geonosis. When Geonosis came out, you could just look at the ground and all the textures on the floor, the visuals, the whole living world experience that they've actually put with Geonosis. If they do that with all the other maps as well, then that would it provides a really unique experience compared to any other games that I've personally, and I think having more hunt modes as well would actually be a lot of fun, because Dennis Brownville at EA Play did say that that actually the Ewok hunt was the first hunt mode. So I think they probably will be updating hunt at some point, but I'm just not too sure. Because if we did have an updated hunt mode, that'd be great to, as you say, have a Wampa hunt, the Jawa hunt and stuff.
Let's just take no notice of the Jar Jar hunt. I don't know what DJ's talking about. Just take no notice of that.
Jar Jar hunt, and a Gungan hunt would be awesome, wouldn't it? That would be great.
It would be, but Jar Jar would just be annoying. But it'll be fun to kill him over and over again.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Well, something that I've seen at the top of nearly everyone's wish list is Galactic Conquest. Do you think we're ever going to see it?
No, I personally don't.
It's hard to tell. It really is.
Yeah, I think
Especially with them bringing out Fallen Order, and then obviously the cancellation of the Orca, which was the open world game.
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to happen because I think the guys at EA are going to start working on Fallen Order.
I think. Well, the thing is, though, yeah, okay, it is EA, but actually, the core experience of Battlefront 2 is being developed by DICE.
Well, yeah, you've got DICE and Respawn working on
that's
both
the
the games.
Yeah.
Respawn are going to be focusing on Fallen Order, whereas DICE are really only going to be focusing on Battlefront 2. I mean, whether some developers get moved from Battlefront 2 to help out with the whole Star Wars experience on at Respawn, then that may well happen. But I'm hoping that it won't, because I think it's been leaked that the large-scale game mode is actually only really going to have 3 maps. I think it may have been 1 for each era, but it was Geonosis, Tatooine, and something else. The source from that was Torbis out on Twitter. He found something. I don't know what his source was, but it basically suggested that there are only going to be 3 maps for this. Now, if we were going to get Galactic Conquest, we would need to get it on probably all of the maps, because currently there's only 13 in the game, which I think would work really well for Galactic Conquest. But at that point, it's kind of actually, hang on a minute. Realistically, we've got 5 maps for the original trilogy, 4 maps, for the Clone Wars, and 4 maps for the sequel trilogy. So, depending on how Galactic Conquest plays out, you wouldn't either get that much, or it would just be completely different eras, and it just wouldn't play out particularly well. So, my question for you actually is, if we did see Galactic Conquest, like let's just say Galactic Conquest was coming, how would you see it working then, with the fact that there are so many different eras in the game and very little maps per era, essentially?
How is that a question to me? Is it?
Well, to you, the chat, Branster, how would you guys like to see Galactic Conquest working then?
I mean, if I remember on the old Battlefront 2, it was capturing command posts, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it was literally just the Conquest game mode.
But
the thing is, some of the maps are just too massive to handle that. Well, I think if you have Crate and Geonosis on Galactic Conquest, the maps are just too big.
Well, I think in the old game it was great, but they could certainly make adjustments to it to make it even better.
Well, yeah, the thing is, though, that actually Geonosis had actually been developed. Geonosis was being built primarily focused on the large-scale non-linear game mode that we're receiving next month, as well as having Galactic Assault. So where they expand to and stuff, we don't actually know. But essentially, if Galactic Conquest was to come to Battlefront 2, then it would probably just be the standard Conquest game mode, capturing command posts and all that stuff. But I think the point is the fact that there are 3 different eras, and there's either 4 or 5 maps per era. So if you were to choose one era to play Galactic Conquest, it would be very limited. You'd have one starter planet, and then it would just be, oh, I need to go to this planet, and this planet, and essentially I could win easy peasy. It would be really quickly. Whereas the original Battlefront 2 had 2 eras, but so many different maps per era. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Because you could play Tatooine as the Republic and the Rebellion, and Dagobah as well. That was what made the original Battlefront 2 really good for Galactic Conquest.
You could have access to all maps on Battlefront 2, even on whatever faction or whatever eras you wanted on.
Yeah, that would be cool. I mean, it would be. The only issue, I think a lot of people would be saying, oh, it's immersion breaking. Having clones on Crate doesn't make sense at all, kind of thing, if they were to do that. I mean, it would make the overall experience maybe a bit better, because it would be nice to see the Rebels versus the Empire on Kashyyyk, maybe. Whilst we never really, I don't think we really hear about the Rebels going on to Kashyyyk at all. But it's more a case of, apart from the Aftermath trilogy, I know there's something a little bit there, but I haven't read that. But essentially, once the Clone War finished, I'm pretty sure the Empire essentially took over Kashyyyk, used
they did.
Caves and stuff like that.
On Battlefront 2, Han was saying to free the Wookiees on Kashyyyk.
Yeah, no, exactly. So it would be nice maybe to actually have Kashyyyk as the Rebels and the Empire. So in Galactic Conquest, if that was to work in Battlefront 2 at the moment, that could actually potentially do something,
Well, I think what would be best for them to do is release all the content first, so maps, heroes, and then I think the best thing to do would be save Galactic Conquest until the end,
Yeah.
and release it before they stop supporting the game, so we have something to play.
But I think that then begs the question: when is the game? When do you think the game's going to end? Because after the rocky start, people were thinking, "Oh, it's probably not going to continue through 2019." Everyone was worried. I was really scared that it wouldn't continue, but I was hopeful that it would. And we know that we're getting content throughout 2019, which is really great to hear. But it's whether it's a case of, are we going to see content come through 2020, 2021 and so on, because the EA license runs out in 2023 at the moment.
Yeah, I honestly think it'll last till the end. I think it'll last till the license expires.
I think it absolutely could. That's the thing. I genuinely think that with all the Star Wars stuff that's coming out, that is based on all these 3 eras, they could definitely do content for it. And whether they either stop adding things slowly in, where they get to a point of actually, okay, well, we've basically got all the maps and all the heroes we need to get into the game. It's then actually we can focus on more customization, more weapons, and all these other features, like Galactic Conquest.
But yeah, they just need to keep up with the content and the maps, the heroes, just keep up with all that. No more controversies, and I think they'll be fine if they want to go till the end of the license.
I mean, they've got loads of heroes to add. They can add Qui-Gon Jinn, Mace Windu.
Oh yeah, they've got loads.
Loads of people, loads of heroes and villains to add in.
I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, going to heroes, it's like, speaking of eras, for the original trilogy, hero-wise, as in like the light side, I don't think there's particularly too much they can add, unless they go deeper into maybe comics and novels and stuff like that, which would be cool. Maybe add Shriv because of the campaign. Who knows? That'd be awesome. But perhaps if you look at the Clone Wars, you've got so many notable Jedi, which are like, actually, these would be pretty sick in the game. But then it's how many dark side characters do we have? There's probably, again, you can go back to bounty hunters and stuff. But
you got Ventress, you've got Savage Opress.
Yeah, because that's the thing. I want to see Mace Windu, and I think Savage Opress with Mace Windu would be a pretty good combo. I think Ahsoka and Ventress would work well together. Padme and Django would maybe work well.
But then again, people are going to be saying, if we add Django Fett into the game, it's going to be two
jetpack heroes.
Jetpacks. But again, if we look at Hero Starfighters or just Starfighter Assault, if one person picks a particular Millennium Falcon, you can't pick the other one. So if someone picks Boba Fett, you cannot play as Django Fett.
That's exactly. I was literally going to say that next. That is the perfect solution to it, because if you the whole thing is like, oh, we don't want any more jetpack heroes, but Django Fett is an awesome bounty hunter. He would be awesome to have in the game. And for the heroes, they can look to Star Wars Rebels. And
Sabine Wren.
Well, yeah, Sabine Wren. Yep. If they want to add Sabine into the game, she would easily have a jetpack, and then actually, okay, well, you've got Boba Fett and Sabine, 2 jetpack heroes, 1 per side. So actually, there's a bit of a balance there, and then they can go right. Django Fett is now another jetpack hero, so we were kind of back in the situation we were before. However, obviously, if Boba's in the game, Django can't come in. If Django's in the game, Boba can't come in, which is, I think, it's a really good way to go for it.
I like to also see Kanan and Ezra come in as well from Rebels.
Yeah, I'd love to see Kanan.
Yeah. I think Kanan, Ezra, Sabine, and Hera would be amazing. Zeb would be quite cool as well. But then it's who would you add with them? Because I think with Kanan, with Kanan, I think it would be the Grand Inquisitor.
Yep.
Sabine, maybe they could add like Gar Saxon or something.
Yeah,
like
Gar Saxon. Yeah.
And then for Hera, I would definitely add Thrawn. I think that'd be a really great way to get him in the game.
Zeb, add Callus.
Zeb could have Agent Callus to come with. And then that kind of begs the question for Ezra, because a lot of people, it's probably just obvious, just go for an Inquisitor.
Thrawn.
Pardon?
Thrawn.
We've already said Thrawn for
Hera's coming into the game.
Oh, sorry.
Thrawn could then come with Hera. So, because I think the rivalry is bigger with Hera and Thrawn rather than Ezra. But if you look at Rebels and you kind of look at Ezra, it's like he doesn't particularly have a sole enemy. Because, I mean, some may argue Maul, but at the end of the day, he wasn't as much of an enemy, perhaps, especially to start with. But Maul's already in the game, so if you're going to add Ezra, you would probably want to go with maybe the 8th brother or the 7th sister or something.
They could maybe just sort of add Ezra and then maybe just add a rebel skin for Maul.
Possibly,
yeah.
Yeah,
Possibly.
I mean, they could definitely do that. I think it is a way there, but I think if they're going to add a hero, they kind of want to add a villain to just try and counter that. Because if you look at, I'll load up Battlefront 2 now actually, so it can help me out a little bit. But essentially, with the Clone Wars content, we've got Obi-Wan and Anakin. Now, Anakin's kind of, I guess you could say Anakin's biggest rival was essentially Count Dooku, having looked at the films and the Clone Wars TV show. So it kind of makes sense to bring Dooku with Anakin. And then if you look at then Obi-Wan, it's like, well, okay, if you look at Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan and Grievous had this big standoff on Utapau, where ultimately Obi-Wan won. So it makes sense to add Grievous with Obi-Wan. So I think it's kind of like that. And then if you look all the way back to the beginning of the game, when we had the first DLC, it was Phasma and Finn, and obviously they were big, right? They're like big rivals in the new sequel trilogy. So I think it kind of makes sense to essentially go with a rival as such. If you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense, but it's just going to be really tricky with some heroes because they don't really have, sort of like sole enemies, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. It is difficult, and I think that's the thing with Star Wars is that they have the issue with Star Wars for a game like Battlefront 2 is that they add in so many, like they've got so many heroes, but very little villains to compare them with, essentially. Because if you look at all, like in the Clone Wars era, there were so many Jedi, a lot of them very notable. And then you look at the Sith, and we had Count Dooku, the Emperor, Grievous. Obviously, he wasn't necessarily Sith, but he was on the he was on the enemy scene. We had Survivor, Press, Ventress, and so on. But compared to the amount of Jedi we know with characters like Kit Fisto, Ace Secura, Luminara, and all that stuff, then there's not as much of a comparison as such. It does make it difficult.
Yeah, it's going to be the tricky thing with Clone Wars content because obviously you've got all these Jedi, but there's very few Sith, and if they want lightsaber users to come together, then they're going to find that very tricky to do with so few Sith.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because
they're going to probably have to look to like bounty hunters or something.
Well, exactly, because bounty hunters would be quite good, but the main bounty hunter I'd want to see is Cad Bane. But then who would you want Cad Bane to come with? Because I think a lot of the time it's like, okay, if we're going to add Padme into the game, do we add Cad Bane or Jango Fett? I personally would prefer to see Jango Fett, but I think a lot of people would want to see Cad Bane either way.
I'd prefer Cad Bane, but I'd say Jango's probably better for Padme.
Yeah, no, that's the thing.
I would say Jango is probably better with Padme as well.
Yeah. So actually, no, it's sort of just made a good point. Cad Bane and Rex.
No, I don't. No, leave the clone commanders as heroes.
But yeah, there you go. That then begs the question: do we add clone commanders as heroes, especially someone so notable like Captain Rex? Would he? I think Captain Rex would probably be the only one to possibly get a hero if he does.
Well, we've talked about it before, Mark. If you've got like Commander Cody, Captain Rex, all the clone commanders, what they should have them do is have them as reinforcements, but they can only spawn in on the Jedi General. So what I mean is, if you've got like Obi-Wan on the battlefront, then you can have the option to spawn in as Commander Cody, and so on and so on.
Yeah, because I then went and I think after that discussion, I then went and made a video on it. So absolutely, yeah. If you have Anakin, have Captain Rex in the game, Obi-Wan, Cody, Yoda, Gree, I think that would be quite cool.
Yeah, I think that would be a lot better than them coming on their own as heroes, in all honesty.
Because it's a bit like on Battlefront 1 when you would spawn as Leia or Palpatine or Krennic.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then you have the guards. Yeah.
See, I just think that would be, as much as I'd love to see clone commanders come to the game like as a playable character, but
as much
I
as
just
I'd like
don't
to see
think
all these clone commanders and clone troops. I'm more with the saber heroes, because on the first Battlefront we had Luke and Vader. That was it.
Yeah, no, definitely.
There was just the original trilogy. So
yeah, I mean, with this,
I would prefer more lightsaber heroes if I'm honest.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, if you look at this game when it launched, looking at it, so we had 14 heroes, of which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 14 heroes, 6 of which were lightsaber heroes, the other 8 gunmen. So it wasn't like it was fully outclassed and all that stuff with not many lightsaber heroes at all. But it just kind of goes back to what we've got now. We're currently now on 19, I believe, where out of the extra 5, they've added 3 saber heroes. And now that actually next month we're getting Anakin. So that then brings us another saber hero. So at that point, I think we should have 10 gunmen, 10 saber heroes, which is really, really good to see.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
What about the skins as well? Do you think? I think there's a lot of skins that they can bring in, especially for heroes. With Luke, he's got his X-Wing Bespin, Dagobah.
Yeah,
he's got loads of skins to come in. And if you look at Lando and Han, how many? They have about 5 skins. Is it or 5 or 6?
Lando and Han. I'm actually on it right now. Let me just check. I'm just upgrading on his cards. So Lando has 5. 2 of which are from Solo. So he's basically got his only skins from Solo, though possibly they could do like a almost an injured Lando. I don't think they'll do that. But Lando's got General from the campaign in episode 6, Administrator from episode 5, Skiff from the start of episode 6, Professional Sportsman, and the Rack on Shore. So 2 from Solo. I think you're right in saying that Han has 6 skins. Let me just have a look. Yeah, he's got 6 skins. So Han and Lando both have quite a lot of skins. I think Leia's got a fair amount as well, actually. But Luke's very, very limited, which I don't quite understand because... So Leia's got a comic skin, Hoth, Endor, Bausch. So there's still quite a few skins they could definitely add for Leia, which would be really good. But yeah, as you say, someone like Luke is very, very underdeveloped right now in terms of skins.
What do we think about
so many
older Han, older Luke, older Leia kind of skins? What do we think? Because I was actually doing one of those what are they called again? One of those. It's like they gave us a question and they said, "Would
surveys?"
you like to see, that's it. Sorry, the surveys. And they said, "Would you like to see older versions of Luke and Leia, but if their abilities were hindered?" And I was like, well, I would like to have their skins, but why would you hinder their abilities, just because they're older?
Yeah, I mean, someone like Luke, I don't know. I think if we were going to have a Luke skin that was him older, I think it would be one where we see him like at the end of The Last Jedi. So when he's like standing off against Kylo Ren, I think that would be a cool skin to have, and I think that would work well. Someone like, I can't really see a skin for Leia being old because she doesn't
really do anything.
She's more of a she's definitely more of a sit back and kind of own the show kind of thing. She doesn't go into action as much anymore. She's definitely not as like athletic as well. Han, on the other hand, I think would work really well. I mean, okay, he's probably a little bit slower, but I think all of his abilities are still valid. His gun is still absolutely spot on. Same one.
I mean, there's no need to hinder their abilities. All they do is just add the skins. That's it. That's all they need to do.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I think it's a huge missed opportunity in terms of what DICE are doing with the skins because, let's face it, I don't think they're really making that much money from the game. Not as much as what they'd want to anyway.
Yeah.
And they could definitely improve that if they was releasing more skins, but the only skins that they're releasing at the moment is with the new characters that come to the game. I can't actually think of the last time we got a skin for an original hero.
The last time we got a skin for an original hero was way back in June as the second part of the Solo season, which added 2 skins for Lando, 2 skins for Han, and 1 skin for Chewie. Because there was a month gap there was nothing in July apart from Hero Starfighters. And then in August, that's when the clone appearance started. So it's great that we're getting clone appearances now as well. But if we stick on the topic of heroes, it was just a case of, okay, well, General Grievous is here. All right, that's fine. Good. They added a battle damage skin. All right, that's not too bad. A month later, brand new legendary skin, which looks pretty awesome, plus Obi-Wan with a skin. Not so bad. There was a few skins there where they probably would have made a bit of money, but I think the fact that they're releasing skins on such a regular basis is that, that they're releasing skins fairly regularly, but they're not a lot of skins at all, honestly. So it's more a case of they need to. I think the amount of skins they're bringing out needs to increase basically if they want to start earning a bit more.
So that begs the question: aside from game sales, how are DICE and EA actually making money from this game?
I don't really know if they are. That's the thing. Personally, I really hope they are, because that then shows that the game is definitely worth doing. It's profitable for them as a company. But I said something I was talking to one of the developers the other day. So one of the senior animators, Harvey Newman, he started his own YouTube channel, Animation, which is pretty cool. But he's recently started kind of being a bit more active on Twitter as well. Now, I said, it was either him saying this to someone else or it was to me, I can't quite remember, but he basically said that, we're doing this game for you, which kind of was like, okay, well, if they're not necessarily making money, then that may not be an issue at all. People are still enjoying the game. They clearly wanted to continue, and they're really passionate about the game, which I would definitely say, they're probably making money, I imagine, from other games. Star Wars for Jedi Fallen Order will hopefully make some sales, make them some money. But I think at the end of the day, Battlefront 2 right now is more so just a live service for the fans, really.
See, this kind of makes me angry, because no matter what people think of EA, I think the people at DICE actually are passionate and they want this game to succeed and they care about the fans.
DICE, from what I've seen, because I haven't been on Twitter, I've been on Twitter for about a year now, and in all fairness, I don't go into that many other communities apart from Battlefront 2, but the level of communication has definitely increased, and you can tell that the developers are passionate about the game. I personally think it shows that. The team at DICE is just absolutely fantastic, and you can see it in their titles of Battlefield as well. They are really passionate about their games. They want them to be as good as they can do. Unfortunately, they do have a short amount of, they do have a small development team in comparison to other big games like this, but they are genuinely passionate about it. And it's just, I think it's more a case of EA's ethics and EA as a parent company enforcing certain things on DICE, perhaps.
Yeah, DICE as a company, I think they're really good. And in terms of Battlefront 2, they've worked their ass off. And of course, they've had the faults, and people have complained about them. But the thing that gets me angry is that you then get people saying, "Oh, it's EA and DICE that are the problem. It's EA that's a problem, not DICE. DICE are actually the good guys here. They want this game to succeed. They want us to be happy."
Exactly. Yeah, that's the way I see it, honestly.
And
I agree with all you're saying, but credit to them. But when I look at these patch notes that they say that we fixed Vader's force choke when Geonosis came out, and the day after it came out, I was stuck in that force choke, and that's actually what got me angry. It's because they say in these notes we fixed this, that, and the other, and they haven't.
Well, I actually saw something. I think it was a few months ago, and I can't remember what the source was, but I think it was one of the developers who had spoke to an inside source or something, and they said that they didn't actually know how to fix some of the bugs because they weren't qualified enough, sort of thing. I don't really get what they meant by that, but I think that's why I think they are trying to fix some of the bugs in this game, but I just think it's not working for them.
Yeah, I think that is the point, though. I mean, the whole game development process is very difficult, and
definitely.
I'm now starting. I recently started the college course a few months ago on the whole game development stuff, and it is difficult. There's a lot more that goes into it than I ever thought there would be. But I think when it comes to finding bugs, the community need to help. It is genuinely often the case that the community need to help them spot the bugs, and then DICE can actually go and have a look at that and go, okay, right, what's the issue? And then it's just trying to fix that, and I think it is very difficult because they may well know how to fix an issue and they can go and do that. Sometimes other issues may be a lot more difficult than that, but it does beg the question, actually, how many people are trying to focus on fixing these bugs? And how long is it actually taking? Because I imagine some bugs will genuinely take a long time to go and actually try and fix, and sometimes actually they are trying to fix them, but nothing's necessarily working for them, or it's taking longer than it should do. So that is why we don't necessarily see a fix every that month, essentially.
So, Aaron, how long do you see support lasting for the game?
Well, Battlefront 2, I'll support it no matter what because I'm a huge Star Wars fan. And if something really annoys me in the game, I'll probably stay away from it for maybe about a day or so and then come back to it. Because at the end of the day, they've put all this hard work into the game, and people are going to stop playing it. It's bad news on them,
Yeah, no, sorry. I don't know. I definitely agree. I mean, me personally, I will be playing Battlefront 2 for ages, honestly. I honestly don't care what people say, and it kind of, for both games and films, if a critic says something bad about it, or if I enjoy a film and someone says, oh, it was a terrible film, blah blah blah. Personally, I don't really I'll definitely listen to people's opinions, of course, that's absolutely fine, but no one's opinion will sway mine. And I absolutely love Battlefront 2. I want to see it I want to see it continue development and progression for a long time to come now. And I'm gonna play it for ages because they've put all this hard work into it. Visually, this game is stunning, and honestly, it kind of does put you in the shoes of. Sometimes it kind of does. It does immerse you into Battlefront, into Star Wars. Not fully because the whole hero thing, but it does put you into the Star Wars battles. It puts you into the stories that we know and love. And
what
Battlefront
Battlefront has done to me personally, and I'm sure you would agree with me, is I've met you, I've met Tommy, I've met Seaconks, I've met DJ, I've met all my good friends from Star Wars, from Battlefront 2. And if this game was never created, I wouldn't be sitting here with you guys talking about gaming.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think they've done an amazing job on bringing a community together. Yeah, it is toxic and all that, but if we stick together as a community, it's just amazing what they've done.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up next. I honestly believe that the people that you get on Twitter and everything hating on the game completely and just trashing DICE and EA, I think they are the ones that either just haven't played the game but they've heard bad things about it, or they did play the game but way back at launch. And since launch, the game has come a long way since then.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is very buggy. A lot of bugs have been fixed. There are still a lot of bugs that need to be fixed, but this game has genuinely become a huge part of my life, honestly, because I started streaming and all that stuff with Battlefront 1 before Battlefront 2, but in those days I literally had 0 to maybe 1 person watching me, and that 1 person watching me would stay in for a couple minutes at best. And I didn't really have much going for me at that point, in terms of YouTube, that is. And then Battlefront 2 came out. I took about 6 months off. No, I took about 4 months off YouTube, I think. But then I came back to it, started streaming on a regular basis. It was going all right, not too bad. Things started to look up, and the Battlefront, so Benji, me streaming this game, then Benji coming onto my stream, he was the guy who actually, without Benji, I wouldn't have met any of you, I don't think, because he came onto my stream. We then started streaming together quite a bit. He introduced me to GN essentially. I think through GN I then went and meet on the likes of Jeff, PJ, and a few other people. I knew Twisted a little bit as well. But these last few months have just been crazy because I knew a bunch of guys already, but now that I've started streaming on a much more regular basis, and I'm more interactive on Twitter with the community, Discord as well. I've met some incredible people, Branster, for the few months that you've been on my channel as a moderator and just talking off stream and stuff like that. you know, it's without a doubt like you are one of my best friends that I've met from this. People like Senator Pan as well. Like, I've met some of my best friends through YouTube, and it's because of this game. Genuinely, it is because of Star Wars Battlefront 2 coming out. All of their hard work that DICE put into this, and you know, it's
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I'm rambling on a little bit about it, but it's insane. Honestly,
Yeah, I
it is.
mean, I have to totally agree. Obviously, I don't, completely love the game. I like the game and I play it. It's not one of my favorite games ever, but I still
Yeah.
really like the game for what it is. And, I play it. Obviously, I don't stream it or create videos on it like you guys do, but I still play it and I still appreciate the game for being made because, like you two said so rightfully, I wouldn't have met any of you guys if it wasn't for this game,
Yeah.
I think it was actually Twisted that I met first, Twisted Jedi.
Yeah.
He was streaming the game. I came onto one of his streams, said hello, and I got in with him. And then from there on, I met Sammy Boy, Lethal Lightning, and then I went on to meet you guys. And for that, I'll always be grateful for this game, no matter what people say, no matter how much people hate on it. I'll always appreciate it because I've met all you guys, and you guys are like family to me now, and it's it's great because otherwise, if we didn't have this game, we wouldn't have met probably.
Yeah, no, exactly. And kind of in the stage that I'm kind of at now, where I've genuinely got so much support backing me as well. Like,
yeah, completely.
At the start of the year, like I think it was around 10:30, 11 o'clock in the at night, and then Sammy Boy released that video of like shouting people out and stuff like that. From kind of that point, I already had so much support from everyone, so I just can't thank you guys enough. But from that point on, it's just been crazy growth. I was on like 689 that day, and in about 3.5 weeks, I'm now at 846. It's honestly ridiculous. It really is, and I love doing YouTube. Honestly, I love streaming. I love getting the videos out and stuff like that, and I really want to continue doing this. And it's it is because of, well, initially I guess it's my passion for Star Wars, but we can. I think all of this leads back to George Lucas, so thank you, George. But it's because Battlefront 2 came out and was released by DICE and developed by them and everything like that. That actually, without them, I wouldn't have met the friends that I've got now. And I think we can all take our friendships into the future and have an absolute blast, because of Star Wars.
Yeah, I have real life friends, but since all you guys have come into my life's just been completely dominated by you guys. I've just been hanging out with you all, and obviously YouTube itself. It's I'm not, I'm happy for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just shows how we're just a bunch of people on the internet, and it just shows that no matter whether we're on the internet, whether we're halfway across the world from each other. I mean, obviously, us three are both in England, but the people in Australia and everything, it doesn't matter because we're friends. We're all connected through YouTube, and more importantly, through Star Wars itself.
I mean, if I would agree. I mean, I would have never met Seaconks, Tommy, and DJ, and Squall, and you guys. You guys are like my gaming brothers. So we'll come online and we'll have a laugh.
Yeah,
and then the great thing about it is we're not always talking online. I talk to these guys on social media.
Yeah.
And this is what Battlefront's done to us. They've been such close friends of mine. It's funny. I trust them more than my real friends.
It shows when people just say, "Oh, it's just a game." It's not just a game. It brings people together.
It's not exactly.
Yeah.
And that's just the beauty of a video game.
Yeah, it's truly special. It is, to quote Snoke, something truly special.
But yeah, I'm really excited to see where it takes us all, because obviously we're not going to have Battlefront 2 forever, of course, but beyond that, we're going to have more Star Wars games that we can play together, and it's going to be great.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in terms of actual Star Wars games at the moment, well, I mean, Battlefront 2 is kind of like the only one we can really all play, like, modern day anyway.
But
we've got Fallen Order that, okay, we're not going to be able to play, like, together, but we can all play through it, share our experiences, talk about it, and just have all this great chat about it and everything, and we can the community, honestly, the community we're in, it does feel like a big happy family, to be fair. Because I mean, we've got creators like PJ, Sammy Boy, Twisted, myself, you guys, GN in the chat, and a bunch, like a bunch of other people. But it does feel like genuinely that everyone knows each other, and it's going to be exciting to see us grow. Because yeah, there are the people like River Thames, As a True, Battlefront updates, and all that stuff, and they're the big guys in the community. But we're like in size comparison, in terms of the amount of people, we're big. I'd say we're pretty big, but in terms of like
we're the best.
We're the best community, as GN says, and you guys, yeah, like I think we're the best community. We're all incredibly friendly. I think we all definitely treat each other like friends and family, honestly, and we're all just really close. We have an absolute laugh, and we're people that actually it does feel like we have an impact on the game, though. That's the thing. I mean, I genuinely feel like the fact that I've had responses from the developers, I've said very many things, I've spoken about the game loads, and it gets attention and stuff like that. It makes me feel important. Yeah, I literally just do this. I just do this for fun, honestly. Like, it does dominate my life, to be fair, but at the end of the day, it's all for fun, and I just love being able to interact with you guys and just have an absolute blast, really.
Yeah, I see people on Twitter and everything saying that, oh, there's no good Battlefront YouTubers left. They're all EA shills and everything. And I actually reply to them and say, that's because you're only watching the big Battlefront YouTubers, Battlefront updates, Star Wars HQ. You need to look to people like Twisted Jedi, Sammy Boy, Split Screen, and they're not doing that just because of the amount of subs that they have compared to you guys. But you guys are actually a lot better than them, without a doubt. And I think the thing that makes it more special for me is that I'm not a Battlefront 2 content creator or anything. I'm just someone who does Star Wars videos, but not Battlefront 2 specifically. Yeah, I'm still so involved with all you guys, and that's what makes it a lot, so special for me.
Yeah, no, definitely. But like, it is the thing is, though, it is like a massive goal of mine to get to the whole game changer position, and I want to help out EA with the game. If we go to the whole like EA license thing, I don't have an issue with EA making Star Wars games. It's more a case of I just don't think it should be limited to them. And people can call me like an EA shill all they want, and I don't. But the thing is that I don't agree with the way EA I don't agree with the EA ethics at all, to be honest. But I know DICE is a really great team, and people can say what they want, but honestly, the community we're in is absolutely the best, and we've got a lot of great upcoming creators and stuff. So.
Well, yeah, people like you, Twisted, Sammy Boy, when EA make a bad decision, you call them out for it. But then you get like people like Battlefront Updates and Star Wars HQ. Like, when have they ever said bad words about EA? You don't, because they're on an EA Game Changers program, and they feel like they can't say that, otherwise they'll get booted off. But it should be, if you have something bad to say about no matter what company it is, you should just say it, because that's why they get the image that they've got now, that the EA shields.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I will always like do my best to try and like sympathize with them, and because I mean, there are a lot of things that EA have done which just isn't good. But you look at people like Fire Guy Gaming, for example, right? And you could probably say that he's a very negative person. He does have his positive moments. He does sometimes praise the game, which is great. But ultimately, he is calling people out on their mistakes. He is saying, ultimately what people could say is bad things about the game. But I think it's important to know that actually he's called, like, FGG's calling these people out, and he is actually an EA game changer now. That's the thing. So if I was a game changer, for example, I would always do what I can to try and fix the game and call them out on what's gone wrong. But I think people would more, if people call me an EA shill and all that stuff for praising Battlefront 2, it's not because of my position. It's not because of the position I'm in. It's because I genuinely love the game, It's me being honest. There are things that need to be done to make the game better, of course, but I do still absolutely love the game and I want to see it continue. That's the thing.
I honestly believe take everyone off the EA Game Changers program except from Twisted right now. Replace them with you, Sammy Boy, Jedi Singh, Tommy Juice. I think that'll be much better.
All the boys.
But the thing is, I'm going to call out another YouTuber. His name's Quinn Knight.
Quinn Knight.
I'm calling him out because he's a disgusting, despicable kind of YouTuber. And if anyone supports him, they should unsubscribe from him completely. Do you know why? Because he's taking your money away for no reason. You know, I have people that come into my chat and they say, "Oh, you know, do I have to donate to play with you?" And I specifically know they've come from Quinn Knight.
Mm-hmm.
Because Quinn Knight always says, if you want to play a game, you have to donate $25.
What?
He's not doing YouTube for the fans. He's doing it for the money.
He
doesn't care. Yeah. He does not care about Star Wars. Full stop. He does not care about it. I watch his videos and they make me cringe completely.
Mm-hmm.
They just make me cringe. And sometimes I just want to go into streams and just call him out for what he's doing. He's taking kids' money to let them play with him, you know?
Yeah,
I mean, that's the thing.
If I was to ever become monetized or anything, or just earn money from YouTube, I'd be doing it purely because of my passion for making videos and talking about Star Wars and sharing my knowledge with people. I wouldn't be doing it for the money. That would just be sort of like an on the side thing, a bonus sort of thing. But then you get people like Quinn Knight or Battlefront Knight, whatever you want to call him, and Mike Zero making money from this. And it's like
Mike Zero. Let's not talk about Mike Zero
but it's like, how are they getting views though? How are they getting views when it's clear that all the stuff and information that they're getting, it's all fake, completely fake, and there's still people falling for it.
It's fake. The day I watched The Force Awakens, I went back and watched Mike Zero stuff, and it was completely nonsense.
There's not a correct video where he has leaked something that's been true.
It's nonsense. It was completely nonsense. All these people.
I'm proud to admit that
people like me, Mark, and all. I think if we were given the choice of having those amount of subscribers and giving them actual content, we'll do really well.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But these guys, they're taking views away. They're taking views, and then giving garbage out on YouTube. That's what they're doing.
Well, that's another thing that annoys me on YouTube, because it's like, you've got us three content creators. We're all still relatively small, but we're all growing. But then you get people like, again, Mighty Zero, Battlefront Night, and they're on like 1,000 subscribers, but they're giving all this fake information. And it's like, how does that work out that we're doing all this genuine content and yet they've got thousands more subscribers than us? It just doesn't add up.
No, it's absolutely ridiculous, honestly. But that's the thing. Negativity, honestly, the way I see it is that negativity spreads further than positivity. That's like, let's be honest, in the news and all that stuff, you tend to hear about bad things before good things, or more bad things happen than good. And then if you look at like the whole clickbait situation, is that clickbait gets more views, but it's just like misleading titles and all that stuff will always get more views than other people. And that's the thing. And I genuinely think that that's something that actually YouTube need to put their foot down and go, actually, guys, you can't be doing this, you know? But YouTube don't care. That's the thing. Because the way the whole monetization works basically is that companies will pay Google and essentially YouTube for a certain amount of they will pay YouTube a certain amount of money to get that advert shown, let's say 10,000 times. So the fact that the more YouTube views the more views on YouTube, the more money that YouTube and Google actually make in turn, and that's the issue, because they're getting so much money from it, as well as these content creators that actually they don't give a damn at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's just ridiculous. But obviously the big gaming news recently, the open world game has been cancelled. So what do we make of that?
Yeah, I mean, like, the fact that there are kind of different ways that I've looked at this, and it's essentially, one way is that it has genuinely been cancelled for the second time, which is just really, really annoying. Or the other way I look at it is actually, well, okay, they probably put this game on hold and they're making another game which then can come out late next year. Once that's out and gone gold, they can then go and actually start development again, or continue development of this game that has been essentially cancelled. That's kind of what I'm hoping for, honestly, because I don't really think like EA have not actually. I don't think they've fully come out properly and said
they've made an official statement.
What did the official statement say?
They said in the official statement,
yeah,
they didn't actually say whether or not it had definitely been cancelled. What they did say was something about using assets from the game to create a smaller scale game or something.
Okay.
Well, they've cancelled the game to rush another Star Wars game.
Yeah, so the reason why they have done it, if they have definitely cancelled it, which I think they have, is so that they can work on this smaller scale game, so they can release that in 2020, because obviously you've got all these people saying about how EA don't care about Star Wars games and everything. So because of that, they want to kind of, save the reputation, I suppose you could say, and then release a game 2020. Whether it's going to be good, I don't know. I have no idea what it's going to be. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if it's another mobile game. Honestly.
No, I mobile games aren't okay. There's Galaxy of Heroes, but other mobile games are being developed by Zynga now. So EA have got Galaxy of Heroes, but that's basically in terms of EA mobile games. The rest of them are being done by Zynga. Now, Zynga have got development of Star Wars Commander, and they've also got the license to make 2 other games. And in the whole, when there was all this news about the open world Star Wars game coming out, the day after the publication, EA sent the following statement to this news report, and it basically says as follows. So there's been speculation overnight about one of our Star Wars projects. As a natural part of the creative process, the great work by our team in Vancouver continues and will evolve into future Star Wars content and games. We're fully committed to making more Star Wars games. We're very excited about Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order from Respawn, and we'll share more about new projects when the time is right. So that kind of gets me to think, actually, okay, all right, well, EA are probably, they are hopefully going to be focused on making Star Wars games. There's hopefully in the next few years going to be quite a lot that's coming out, but it's just a shame it's just the fact that actually the whole news of the game being cancelled, it's just being blown into something incredibly bad, which, okay, is understandable. It's damaged their reputation very much, but it's actually, for me, the way I kind of look at it is actually EA has so many great studios which could make some incredible Star Wars games, and that's the sad thing, because the way EA is perceived to run is that actually they are just absolute money whores. They just want all the money. They don't really care about anything else. But then you look at the separate studios and you think, okay, well, DICE, they do absolutely fantastic jobs with Battlefield and Battlefront, in my opinion. They're very passionate about their games. BioWare with Anthem, which is releasing in March, I believe. The team at BioWare seem very passionate about this game.
Oh, BioWare are great.
It looks incredible, and obviously BioWare have got Star Wars: The Old Republic, which is continuing development as well for God knows how many years now. So a lot of studios that are under EA, they are very passionate about their games, but it's just dependent more on, how EA can tackle this, because of their bad reputation.
I think if Rockstar were given a chance to make a Star Wars game, what would you guys think? I think the Star Wars game would just blow up. I think it would completely be insane if Rockstar would make one.
I'm on the fence with Rockstar. I really am.
I'm honestly, with Rockstar, I don't really know. I mean, I haven't played Red Dead 2, so I don't really know what that's kind of like in terms of the overall mechanics and the whole movement system and all that stuff. But I really enjoy GTA 5, and I think I would definitely enjoy Red Dead 2. But the way, the whole movement, they make
great They make great games, but it's would they be able to do that with Star Wars though?
That's the thing. The way you drive around on, the way you kind of drive around with GTA, you move around with your controller, with your player and all that stuff. I just don't think I'd like to see that in a Star Wars game, to be honest. And whilst I think they could possibly do quite well with that, and I'd love to see an online open world Star Wars game, I don't really know if Rockstar's the right way to go about it. I think BioWare would be perfect for it.
Yeah, I want BioWare without a doubt.
But then it's the whole, it's EA, oh no.
Well, I'd honestly want either BioWare or I'd want them to bring back LucasArts.
Yeah, LucasArts.
Yeah, LucasArts, yeah.
But it'd be if they do bring back LucasArts, would it be the same as before?
Probably not, though.
Well, there you go. So I don't know, but it's a tricky one. It really is.
Oh yeah, no, without a doubt.
But then
Without a doubt.
after the open world game was supposedly cancelled, there was an inside source that came out and said that for the open world game, you could have played as a bounty hunter or a smuggler, and you'd be going across the galaxy and you'd be working for different factions.
See that, or like genuinely, that sounds like my ideal Star Wars game. Before any of that information came out, I was saying to my brother, like, my ideal Star Wars game would genuinely be being a smuggler or a bounty hunter and doing all these missions. Like, I think that's where Rockstar could make a good online Star Wars game, because there's all these different missions. But if you're a bounty hunter, you could do like different assassination targets, other such missions, like you have to smuggle people or equipment or whatever it is that a bounty hunter will do. Is that actually all these different missions across the galaxy, however many planets in an open world environment, would genuinely just be incredible. You know, the potential is huge on that.
Oh yeah, it does sound really cool, but then it was like, would they have pulled it off?
Depending on, I mean, if we're referring to the whole EA side of it, I think it would have been an awesome game to play. I think it definitely could have worked, but it just kind of more depends on how, like, what features there are. Like, if there's a storyline to it, great, which obviously I think that would definitely be a storyline. It would have been a nice story to play through. I think for me, as someone who, with the Star Wars canon, I really want to know as much as I can to get in as much of a story as, like, listen to as much of a story as I can, really. So I think I would have loved it. Whether, like, in general, fans may have loved it, I don't really know, because I think a lot of people are genuinely like, oh, we want the main Star Wars, like, battles and all the grip that we have with the film. But the fact that this is a completely different to anything we've ever had before, I'm just not too sure. A lot of people, like, especially casual stuff, like casual gamers, may not have enjoyed it too much. But then equally, they may well have done. That's the thing. It really does depend on people's opinions on certain topics, really.
Was you looking forward to the game, Aaron?
The one that's cancelled.
Open world game, yeah.
To be honest, a bounty hunter and being a smuggler is not my kind of thing. I would play it, but I wouldn't play it as much as Battlefront 2 because it's not my kind of thing. I'm definitely looking forward to the
Fallen Order. Yeah.
Because you get to play as a Jedi, and that's what I think Star Wars is all about, playing as a Force user. That's what. But I know people got different opinions, but that's my idea of a Star Wars game. And the way how they want that to work is, like, you know, Far Cry and Shadow of Mordor, where you have skill points, where you have coins or whatever, or credits that you spend on yourself to build up your character.
Yeah, I think
so you start off like maybe a small force push, because they do say you're a Jedi Padawan called, I think it's called Cal, with your mentor. I think it's about 5 years after Revenge of the Sith. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And you just progress. So you start off as a Jedi Padawan, and then you get yourself up to like a Jedi Master.
Well, that brings us on nicely to the next topic, which was Fallen Order. So, you know, what are our hopes and expectations for the game?
Well, I mean, they've already, I can't remember who it was. It might have been Jason Ward or something. But he did say that actually it plays fairly similar to how Force Unleashed did, in terms of the way, like, the overall
gameplay-wise, yeah,
gameplay-wise, it's very much like Force Unleashed, which actually I don't mind at all, because I have, like, whilst I have played a bit of, I played Force Unleashed 1, but not, like, fully, and then I played a lot of Force Unleashed 2, and I really liked it, honestly. So I think seeing, like, a modern-day Force Unleashed style game in terms of gameplay-wise, I think that'd be awesome, honestly. I think
if we're talking about Force Unleashed 3 they were doing talks of
it was in the works,
Starkiller and Vader teaming up to take down the Emperor, but that was going to be an open mode game.
Oh, that would be sick.
So that's something I would like to see, maybe bringing that over to Fallen Order. It's an open world game, maybe on Coruscant.
See, that's the thing. Like, if Jedi Fallen Order was open world, like if Fallen Order was open world as a single player game, I think that would be. I honestly think that would be so good, because I mean, if it was like just a standard linear story, then that would still be pretty cool. But either way, I can't wait for the game. But I think definitely an open world story where there's that plus maybe side quests and different things where you can help other people out as a Jedi and use your abilities against the growing empire. I think that would be awesome.
And the thing at the end of the game, or when you beat it, you face off Darth Vader.
Yeah,
I think that'd be really cool. Yeah,
but then again, it does come to the terms where actually Vader kills you.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think it would have to be a situation where it would be a bit of a cutscene where it gets to a certain point, but then Vader would kill you. It would be this like really emotional ending sort of thing.
Because if we look at Far Cry 3, yeah, I'm not going to go into the underage stuff, but at the end of Far Cry 3, you get stabbed and you're dead, but then you're still alive. If you know what I mean. So you're still alive to explore the whole island and all that. So you could possibly die from a Fallen Order, but then you could probably you're allowed to free roam the entire game, do side quests and all that.
Yeah, I think you'd have to die at the end because if you think about it, Revenge of the Sith, the Jedi were near enough wiped out, and yet you've already got Ahsoka still alive, Obi-Wan, Yoda, and if they just keep adding to the list, then it'd be like, that doesn't really make sense. If the Jedi were almost wiped out, then why would there be so many Jedi left?
Yeah, no.
Well, then they also did say, when they said about it being like Force Unleashed in terms of gameplay, they did also say that it won't be sort of you wouldn't be so OP as you are in Force Unleashed, if you get what I mean. You wouldn't have like Force light and everything, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, Starkiller was seriously overpowered.
But then again, we could bring in Obi-Wan and Yoda, so they come in like midway through the game, and you have to do like certain missions for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we could definitely see some sort of cameo like that from Obi-Wan or Yoda. I think that'd be pretty cool as well.
Yeah, I think that'd be awesome. That would work really well actually. Because I think the point is, we know that Yoda went into exile and Obi-Wan to Tatooine and stuff, but you'd think that there must be some, like Obi-Wan and Yoda in that time period surely must have had some sort of connections, right? So whether we get to maybe see something like that in Fallen Order could possibly work.
Well, yeah, it doesn't even have to be in person, does it? It can just be like through the Force or
or hologram, because remember Revenge of the Sith?
Yeah, exactly.
He decodes telling all Jedi to stay away.
Yeah, so I think that will definitely play a major part in the game.
So possibly what could happen is you and your mentor return to Coruscant, to the Jedi Temple.
And you see what happens, and then clones just like start invading you. And
Palpatine, because that was actually Palpatine's. That was his home world. That's where he lived ever since Order 66. So Palpatine could potentially kill his mentor.
Possibly, and then you just kind of like escape with your life and go and do what you need to do, I guess. But it depends on like just how the story actually progresses. It's what intrigues me the most, actually.
I do have a feeling your mentor's going to die. Probably he or she will die midway through the game. It's bound to happen.
I was under the impression that the mentor had already died during Order 66 and that you was alone.
Well, as I was reading, say something that said you're with your mentor, but I'm not sure whether they were alive or dead.
I think
maybe they meant before Order 66, because I think what would be really cool is if they started the game before Order 66 and you're just in the temple or something, and then it starts. I think that'd be really cool, and it's sort of like how you escape and then the main story begins.
I can kind of vision it now, actually, where like you and your master are running away from clone troopers, your master trying to defend you and stuff like that, and she almost like tells you to get in this transport pod and go anywhere, kind of thing, or set coordinates to a certain place, and then she sends you off. She's about to get in there. There's loads of clones surrounding you. The blast doors are shutting for you to then kind of essentially leave. She then gets like killed, like completely overwhelmed.
Maybe she doesn't get killed. Maybe she gets injured, but she managed to escape, and that could be a mission where the Padawan returns to the temple, or she finds his way to him.
Or maybe she gets injured, and then she turns to the dark side, and you have to fight off against her in the end.
Oh, that's perfect.
She becomes an Inquisitor, and she kills him.
That's a bit emotional. If I was doing that, your master ends up killing you, or you can possibly turn to the dark side as well.
Well, that's what I mean. This game has so much potential, but it's just, is it going to live up to that potential? I don't know.
I really hope so. I mean, like talking about, I've never really spoken about Fallen Order so in depth than we have been doing now. And I think actually, if there's the whole mentor thing, there are so many different ways, because it could be that she gets injured, she gets in the ship, and one of the missions is that you have to go and find something to help heal her. But I like the idea of her turning to the dark side, actually, or I like him or her. But I like the whole idea of them turning to the dark side, actually.
Well,
and
actually,
at some
it says
point you
here
have to
now.
fight
It
them.
says here, follows a Padawan called Cal and a woman called acting as a mentor figure. It's not clear if his mentor is actually a Jedi herself.
Okay.
Right, okay.
So it could possibly change the whole story then.
Possibly. I mean, the way I kind of see it is maybe it's a bit of a prologue where your master dies in Order 66 at the Jedi Temple. You manage to escape, and then you kind of meet this mentor figure who maybe knows the ways of the Jedi essentially, and might be able to like help train you and stuff like that. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, like Mars apparently used the Force in a deleted scene in The Force Awakens, so possibly something like that,
Well, that's the thing. If the mentor does die and it's just the Padawan by himself, then surely it's not just going to be you for the whole story. Surely you're going to get some help. So it'd be so cool because you can have all these sort of cameos from people. You can have like Vader doesn't even have to be a main character, but you can have a cameo role. It can show up, Obi-Wan, Yoda, Ahsoka. You have all these cameos and people that could show up. And I think if you do it well and get it to perfection, I think it could be really good.
Well, if we remember that Ahsoka left the Order in the Clone Wars, and she may have heard the news about obviously Order 66, and she went to go find out the surviving Jedi, and she runs into Cal, and then maybe Ahsoka could be Cal's new mentor.
That's what I mean. There's so much potential in terms of cameos and people that could show up. I think I'm really looking forward to it.
I think this game, I'm gonna love it. I'll love this game. I guarantee this game's gonna be amazing, especially if they get the storyline right. We just need to wait for the trailer and more news. That's all we need to wait for.
Yeah, and it's not like there's going to be like many bugs or anything because it's supposedly only single player, and hopefully there's no microtransactions either. So,
well, that's the thing. If it's a single player game and if it was like a linear story with single player, like I just can't see them adding microtransactions at all. That's the thing.
Well, yeah, exactly. But I think we're going to get our first look at it at Celebration. So
yeah, no, definitely. I think that is probably the way it's going to be because it was EA Play last year. We knew the title, and that was literally it. Like we know very, very little about this game at the moment. We just know that it's recent.
They're keeping it very secret. So
yeah, definitely.
Hopefully that's because they've got some big plans for it.
Yeah,
I'm just hoping it's not just full on campaign like. You just go through levels like in The Force Unleashed where you just play the level and that was it. You can't do anything else. I hope it's something like you play levels, but you can go off and explore and do other things.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like that's
something I wouldn't like to see. That I wouldn't like to see us just going through levels and that's it. You play the story again. I wouldn't like that. I would like to see something like Just Cause. You play levels where you get to like explore the entire planet.
Yeah, like the Force Unleashed series, it was so good for when it was released. But obviously, you've got Fallen Order. Technology is so much more advanced now, and I think they could do a lot more with it in terms of world exploring and everything.
That's the thing. Yeah, I mean, one of my favorite games of all time at the moment is Dragon Quest IX, which came out years ago, but I've played it on the DS and I've had genuinely so many hours playing that game. But the open world on it was vast. It was a pretty huge open world, and it was completely free roam. The way it was is that it was a single player story throughout this vast open world, but there was a load of side quests. You could do like alchemy, so you could like create different items using different things. Complete treasure maps, so there were literally hundreds of thousands of treasure maps.
If we look at Spider-Man, the new Marvel Spider-Man that came out,
yeah,
you
you've got different things to do.
Your low level webs, you know, you're not that strong. You got low health, but you level up your characters to level 50, and then they'll have faster webs. They'll be stronger, more they can survive in battle. It should be something like that.
At the same time, though, if that was to happen, and you fully mastered all your powers, and there was all at the highest it could possibly be, you have to remember that we don't know about this story yet. So surely it's not going to be, you know, an important story, because obviously, why haven't we heard of it? And so that means that surely the Padawan can't turn out to be that powerful.
Well, like I said, what could do is it won't be as in 1 week or something. You progress within like a year or so, and then you'll just start leveling up, and you become stronger.
I mean, the thing is, I don't really think it matters if he's that powerful or not. It's a case of actually in the stories we have right now, it's just he wouldn't be relevant at all. That's the thing. He could very well be powerful, but just not relevant in other stories. That's why you've not heard of him before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's difficult. It's difficult to say at this point because
we know so little about it. Yeah.
We've just heard just what the title is, and that was it. Yeah, that's it. That's all we've heard.
I mean, I'm really looking forward to it, and yeah, I'm really hoping that it is good. Battlefront 2 was obviously good, and it still is good, but it had its problems, and I'm hoping that Fallen Order doesn't have them problems, because EA, they're getting close to having the license took off them. They really are.
Very close. Yep.
If Fallen Order has a bad launch, or it's just a bad game overall, then they're going to be gone. EA will be gone.
That's it from them. You know, that's it from them. They have to find someone else.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the thing. It really is a shame, because whilst EA is a bit like meh, as I was saying earlier, they've genuinely got so many great studios under their name with BioWare, Respawn, DICE, all these other companies, Criterion as well. You know, they've got loads of different. They've got loads of different studios which actually would be able to make an incredible Star Wars game. But
if we're talking about an open world game, do you think Ubisoft will make a good one? Because we've had things like Assassin's Creed, Far Cry 5, and all that. What do you guys think?
I've never played any of the Far Cry series. I haven't really played Assassin's Creed that much either, though. That's the thing. So with Ubisoft, I think they probably definitely could do a good one, for sure.
I think I'd definitely prefer to Rocksteady.
You would prefer Rockstar, okay.
Rockstar, sorry, yeah. I think I'd definitely prefer to Rockstar, yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, like Brand, so I prefer Ubisoft over Rockstar for sure.
But then Seaconks did say up there, Rockstar will include even more microtransactions.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, Rockstar are pretty big on the whole money thing, and at the same time, I think a point to note actually is that Rockstar release a game like every 4 or 5 years or something, because they've got it was GTA 5 was released ages ago, and that was just making them so much money, and they weren't necessarily working on another game after that until we then went and had Red Dead 2, which is obviously now released back in, what was it, like November last year now.
So we want a game like what BioWare have done with the Old Republic, and it's still going today.
Exactly. I think I genuinely think
I don't even know when it first came out.
2011.
When was it came out?
2011.
2011. Okay.
There you go. Yeah, it came out in 2011, and it's still going, and
that will keep going until the end of the license.
Probably. It definitely will.
Yeah, so it'll be going till 2023.
Well, wait, is it like 100% confirmed at that, or?
Well, obviously, Star Wars: The Old Republic started before, you know, the whole Disney canon thing and EA taking over. And obviously, they don't really want Legends content to carry on being made. But because of all the work that went into that game, I mean, it started production in 2006, and it took them 5 years to get the game fully released.
Yeah.
So that's how much work they put into it. And when EA took over and Disney, EA wanted to sack them off, but Disney said, look, you know, they've been working on this game for, you know, a long time. They've put a lot of work into it. We can't just sack it off completely. And, you know, you have the outrage from the fans as well. So they made EA keep the Old Republic on. And that's why it's still going today.
But, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I would be surprised that EA would say that, considering EA had already owned BioWare for quite a bit of time, and it was actually EA who was under that project. So why EA would have gone like, oh, let's not keep this.
Well, I think it's because of the whole Disney and canon, the whole canon and legends thing. Sorry, I think that's what it was over.
Yeah. Okay. No, that makes sense. Because yeah, like a canon version of a game like Old Republic, where if it's like set in the Clone Wars or what, I don't really know, but it like a canon game of very similar style to the Old Republic, where there's just a pretty big open world per planet, where like the planet's explorable. There's quite a lot to go through with different classes as well, like have Jedi, Sith, Clone Trooper, and all that stuff. Like again, it would just be incredible, to be honest.
Well, there's been a massive feat on EA over the Old Republic as well, actually, because content for the Old Republic recently has been... It's not been the best.
Yeah.
Not like usual, anyway.
See, I don't know a lot about that. I used to play it, but now I don't play it anymore because I'm more of a PS4 gamer now.
Yeah.
Console gamer, and I don't really know about the PC Old Republic.
Yeah. Well, the reason why the content started getting sort of, it wasn't the same as usual, was because EA actually took most of the Old Republic devs off the team and put them onto Anthem. So because of that, EA have been getting a lot of heat for it, and there's actually a petition going around to, to try and get EA to increase the developers for the Old Republic because they're wasting so much potential, and it's really damaging the game because. I mean, they've just released a major update, so it's gone back to being okay now. But before that, there's so much outrage on the internet because people were like, "I want to play new stuff, and new content isn't getting released, not at the standard that we expect it anyway."
Yeah, definitely.
So EA have received a lot of heat for that as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I can understand that they moved devs from Star Wars Republic onto Anthem because I mean you look at DICE did that with Battlefront 2 for Battlefield 5 for like several months. Developers on Battlefront 2 moved to Battlefield 5. They have now started to move back, to be fair. So I think once Anthem goes live, because Anthem has now actually gone gold. They've finished the game now for launch, right? So basically, I think now that it's gone gold, they could see developers start coming back to the game, perhaps. But it really depends because I'd love to see more content come out for that game. To be fair, I mean, I'm going to be starting to play it in hopefully about a month's time, maybe less.
So, what is Anthem then? I need to have a look at it. What is it?
So Anthem. So you know Destiny from Bungie.
Yes.
Anthem kind of looks a little bit like that, but EA. But basically, there's this thing called the Anthem, and the Anthem is basically, from my knowledge, this big, massive thing that's almost worshipped or sort of like kind of, and you've got like 4 different javelins. Now, the javelin is essentially the suits that you see. So there's like Colossus, which is this big one, Storm, and 2 others. I need to brush up on the Anthem knowledge actually, but it's a vast open world. It's a vast open world game, not just in terms of actual like horizontal land, but you can go down and up a long way because apparently, someone got a map of GTA 5 and put that compared to Anthem. The Anthem map was bigger than GTA 5, but then also goes down like 6 times or something. I'm not too sure, but basically incredibly vast open world, kind of like Destiny in a way, but EA made by BioWare. But I think it looks pretty good actually.
See, this is something here that I really don't understand. It says here that they had been working on that open world game since October 2017. So they've been working on that for quite a while. So why all of a sudden, after all that work that they've been putting into the game, would they just completely can it? It just doesn't make sense.
Well, that's the thing, and it's for the second time as well. Like, if they're gonna just completely bin the game, then they're wasting a lot of valuable resources and time. That's the thing.
I think I think they've put it on hold.
I'd like to think so, honestly.
They haven't. I guarantee you they haven't said we've cancelled it completely because why would they waste all that time and money and all of a sudden say we're cancelling it?
Well, that's the thing. EA have come out and said that the work at EA Vancouver continues, and they are dead set on making future Star Wars games and content. So maybe they have put the game on hold and they're wanting to bring out a new smaller game. I don't really know, but it's definitely. I don't think they've fully canned the game, to be honest.
It says here they've cancelled it in favor of the smaller Star Wars project that's now aimed for most likely 2020.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. If they have fully canned it, then they're just going to try and probably use assets that they've already got to make a smaller version.
Yeah, I honestly think that's what they're going to do. Yeah.
Because that way, they wouldn't have fully wasted all the time and money they've already got, because they're going to have assets, like all these different models, probably textures and other stuff that they've already made over the last a year and a half to 2 years. So it would be a lot of time down the drain. And I think what they're probably going to do is use these assets they've already got to make a smaller game, actually, and hopefully it turns out right.
But the most important thing that they say here for me is smaller scale Star Wars project. So if they were developing an open world game and they're now working on a smaller scale Star Wars project, what does that even mean?
It could mean that the overall size of the open world is going to be a lot more limited, or it could potentially be that actually it's just going to turn into a linear story game.
So it could still be open world, but just
a lot smaller.
A lot smaller and condensed.
Pretty much. That's kind of how I interpret that.
But then would people be happy with it still being open world, but just smaller?
I think it honestly depends on the situation, with the overall game, what the overall reception that it gets at launch. And I think that is definitely dependent on the features it has as well. Because if it's open world, you don't just want a story. If it's open world, you want to be able to do all these different things in the open world when you're not doing the story. So if it's a smaller scale game and it doesn't have these features, then people are going to be really angry, I think.
Aaron, what do you think?
I think it probably could be just a mobile game.
It could be.
We just don't know at this point. I can't really say anything because we don't know at this point what it is. It could be a smaller open world game. It could be a mobile game.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing. We had this game called the overall story in it was actually canon. It was called Star Wars Uprising. I don't know if any of you played that on the phone a few years back.
Yeah, I played it a little bit, but then they completely cancelled it, though, didn't they?
Yeah, the overall story is still canon, but they completely canned it. Which actually is a shame because I really enjoyed playing it, to be honest, actually. But it could turn out to be something a little bit like that, where it's kind of open world. But, I don't know. It's interesting. It could potentially be open world, but in a small game,
It is something here from Windows Central. It's an assessment of Star Wars gaming, right? So they say, it's not a surprise that EA hasn't managed its exclusive rights to the Star Wars franchise well this generation. While the original Xbox and Xbox 360 saw a tremendous amount of Star Wars content, which is true, EA has only managed to release the mediocre Star Wars Battlefront games, which haven't been well received by critics and gamers. Star Wars Battlefront 2 featured egregious pay-to-win microtransactions, which caused various governments to crack down on the practice. However, that is not all. Recently, a troubling report emerged which said that EA wasn't allowing BioWare to make any more Knights of the Old Republic games. Many months ago, EA closed Visual Games. The team was working on a linear Star Wars game, which would have been the franchise's Uncharted. A few days ago, EA cancelled the open-world Star Wars game at EA Vancouver, a title which was seen as an expansion of the visual Star Wars project, in favour of a small-scale title which could launch early. Instead of delivering a game that would have lived up to the legacy of the franchise, the company's content was releasing smaller titles in order to increase revenue. Right now, it seems that there are only 2 single-player Star Wars games in development at EA, Respawn is working on Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and EA Vancouver just started work on a smaller title. DICE may be developing Star Wars Battlefront 2, but Battlefront 3, sorry. But given the underwhelming reception of the past two, it's probably not the title gamers and critics want. What do we think about that?
I don't think DICE is going to make Battlefront 3 at all, to be honest. I personally really don't see
They won't.
They're going to stick with Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
They're going to stick with it. They're not right. They're not doing a Battlefront 3.
No, definitely not. And the thing is, though, I honestly don't see the point in another Battlefront game for a long time unless it's like completely brand.
What could they put in the game that they couldn't put into this game?
Ground to space battles.
Yeah, but couldn't they put that into this game though?
Yeah,
they could. They could,
because something at DICE they have is called Spark Days, and I don't know if you guys I'm not sure if you guys know what Game Jam is, but Game Jam is basically you're given a very short amount of time to participate in it to make your own game out of like maybe a couple days or something, you know. And they have these things called Spark Days where the team work together on new pieces of technology. So things that DICE have already been working on are things that include dual wielding capabilities and transformable droids. That's what, like, well, not droids as such, but just transformable objects, which they're the two things that they've confirmed that we could see those things in the future, which could lead to heroes like Ahsoka or Cad Bane or whatever, or droidekas as well. But yeah, so something in those Spark Days that they can do is the whole process of actually going from space to ground, because doing a realistic space to ground kind of concept in a game in the Frostbite engine would be very, very difficult. Now, if you look to the PSP game, Battlefront Elite Squadron, they had space to ground, but that was done via a cutscene. So whether they do that instead, I don't really know, but I'd love to see some space to ground capabilities. Actually, that would be awesome. It's something that DICE could potentially work on.
So, do either of you play Galaxy of Heroes?
No, I don't play it. No.
You know I do, Ranster.
So, what do you think about that then? We're liking that?
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoy the game, to be honest. Yeah, I don't really go on it and play particularly loads of it. I just go on here and there and check things, buy any shards, do any battles that I need to do. But if I battle, it's literally just simulations. And that's the thing with mobile gaming. I understand that actually the potential for mobile gaming is definitely there, but I personally can't see myself sitting down on my phone playing like a full-on Star Wars game or just any other game for that matter. You know,
that's the thing for me. You see, I with Galaxy of Heroes, obviously, you know, I play it, and I don't just play it during the day. It's one of them things where, you know, I'll get in bed at night and I'll just play it on my phone before I go to sleep. You know,
yeah.
I think that's the beauty about mobile games. You know, they're not. I wouldn't say they're as good as console games, but I think mobile games definitely still have a use, you know, because you can distract you from things, you know, you can play them before you go to sleep at night. I think it's great.
Yeah, I think mobile games, like, the potential there is definitely, you know, there is definitely potential there, but it's kind of, if they were going to make a Star Wars mobile game, then actually what kind of game would you want to see? Like, would you want to see some sort of story game, or would it just be a little bit like a arcade sort of thing, almost like, you know, I mean, I guess the whole Force Arena is something that is now obviously being cancelled, but Force Arena was a bit like Clash Royale. You've got Star Wars Commander, which is kind of like Clash of Clans, where you get your own base and, you know, you get to upgrade all your different things there, and there's a story there, but it's kind of, what kind of, would you, if you were to have a Star Wars game that came out on mobile, what would draw your attention more than anything else?
Honestly, I wouldn't be too bothered. I just want something unique from EA.
Yeah, that's the thing. I honestly, like, if a Star Wars game comes out on the mobile, I'll be like, oh, you know, that's cool. But
yeah, exactly. It wouldn't be one of them things where I'd be like, oh, I need to get this. I need to download it quickly. It'd just be one of them things. Yeah, it's cool. I'll download it whenever I'm free.
Like, I've got Star Wars Commander on my phone. I've had it for a very long time, but I haven't gone and played on it properly in well over a year.
Yeah,
well, I've got it downloaded. I barely go on it.
Yeah, I'm the same.
To be honest,
yeah.
any Star Wars game that's on mobile or the App Store, I don't download it because I just think it's a waste of time and a waste of storage.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, if you're creating a Star Wars game and you're a big company, just focus on the consoles. Just don't do anything on the App Store on the phone.
Well, that's an interesting point because they actually make more money from Galaxy of Heroes than what they do with Battlefront 2, and there's a market for mobile games.
That doesn't make sense to me.
Well, no, it doesn't. Of course not. But
how can they make more money off something?
Microtransactions.
It just doesn't make sense to me.
Microtransactions.
Yeah.
They have them in Galaxy of Heroes, and
they've got loads.
Yeah, there's like characters behind paywalls and everything, and people splash out like you can splash out like 70 quid on a single character to unlock them, and people actually do it, and that's how they're making all this money from a mobile game. So because of how well that's doing and how much money they're making from that, the way they see it is like, we'll commit to this more than any other Star Wars game, whether it's on console or mobile, because this is making us the most money from Star Wars.
Well, if it's making them money, then they have to do what they need to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's just how they see it.
Yeah. Which,
to be honest, I just think it's a complete waste of time. For me to download a Star Wars game from the App Store is a waste of time for me.
The thing is, though, is that actually I think, the majority of people, I think more people will have a smartphone than people people will have consoles. Like, loads of people out there will have consoles, but I think technically speaking, more people may well have a smartphone, which grants them the accessibility to these other Star Wars games that's on mobile. And that's kind of essentially presenting EA with a bigger audience on mobile than console, PC, and Xbox. But actually, on PC, Xbox, and console, you can slap a 50 quid, 60 quid paywall behind the actual game itself, and then have a few microtransactions here and there. But you're going to make more money, though. That's the thing.
Well, I mean, I really like the game. I think it's one of them games that you have to really grind. So you have to play it near enough every day. Mm-hmm. And I like them sort of games. It's not just one of them games that's, you play it for like a few hours and it's over. You have to actually grind in the game to, get what you want if you want a certain character or something. But even though with how much I like the game, we definitely need more console games and less mobile games, without a doubt.
See what I did? I downloaded Galaxy of Heroes, and within an hour, I was just so bored, and I deleted it. That's how much I despise games on phones.
Mm-hmm. I'm not saying it's not for everyone.
That's my opinion. I just don't like being on my phone because then I'm wasting my battery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm that kind of person.
Yeah, obviously people have different preferences.
Different,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I definitely think that EA definitely need to focus more on console games, and perhaps there are definitely going to be business decisions that we don't know about. I mean, the guy that was reporting on the cancelled Star Wars game when the whole news of that came out, is that actually the guy reporting on it said that there was an unannounced Star Wars game from EA Motive. So actually, there could be things that we don't know about that will come out, and I think we'll have to probably wait and see what happens if it happens at Star Wars Celebration or EA Play.
Yeah, there'll definitely be things that either are going on right now or that have gone on that we don't have a clue about.
Yeah, exactly.
But one thing I know I'm going off topic now, but one thing I love is the Lego Star Wars games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and the thing is, I'm a bit annoyed that they haven't released the Rogue One and the Last Jedi Lego. Because the last Lego game they released was The Force Awakens, so I would at least expect them to bring out Rogue One, Solo, and The Last Jedi. But I don't think they're going to do that.
Well, that's the thing. When that Force Awakens Lego game released, I was sort of like, well, why not just wait till the end of the Skywalker saga to release it, and then you can have all the characters from the trilogy.
I mean, that's the thing. I honestly think the best Star Wars game for Lego would be something like the way it works is we have like all of the complete saga, but essentially remastered. Because if you look at like Lego Star Wars: The Force Awakens, the first mission there is kind of the last two missions in
It's the Battle of Endor.
Saga. Yeah, so
it's the Battle of Endor. Yeah,
it's the Battle of Endor. Well, yeah, it's the Battle of Endor, but it's also with the Palp's throne room and the ship and the Falcon destroying
the Death Star too.
The Death Star. So it's kind of like almost fitting three into one. But they could easily just remaster the complete saga, have it exactly the same as it was, but just a bit different with the cutscenes and all the voices and everything. But then also include what we've got for Force Awakens, and then include The Last Jedi in Episode 9. And I think it might be quite fun to have Solo and Rogue One perhaps in it as well. I think Rogue One. But
how you're saying remastering, I agree with all of that. But I would also like to see how we see in The Force Awakens, you can actually explore the planet you're on.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's what I'd love, because the whole open world thing with Lego is something that I think started back with, but there's always kind of been a sense of exploration, but it's been very, very, very small. So,
but if you look at Lego Avengers and Lego Marvel and all that, you can explore the entire city.
Yeah, exactly. Like
for Lego Star Wars, you can explore different planets, so you're not always stuck on, let's say, Takodana. You can go to like Jakku, Starkiller Base. You can explore all them, and that's what I love about.
Why does everyone want to go back to Jakku?
Exactly.
But yeah, no, that's a really good point though. Like having the exploration of a Lego game would just be awesome,
Well, that brings us nice on to the next thing, because I'm gonna say, if we've all been given the chance to make our dream Star Wars game, it can be absolutely anything. It can be, it can even be a remaster of something that's already came out. What would you guys do?
I'll let Singh go first.
It's something I've always wanted to see, is just a massive open world Star Wars. It's a bit like GTA 5. So it's a bit like how you just start off as a character and you build yourself up. It's a bit like the Old Republic. I think that's what I would like to see. Just a remastered Old Republic.
Well, as in like Star Wars: The Old Republic, or like the old KOTOR games?
Star Wars: The Old Republic. I didn't really enjoy the KOTOR game.
Yeah. Okay.
And maybe have it like Clone Wars style or something.
But it's you can choose from anything. You can be a battle droid. You can be whoever you want to be. That's what you could do.
Also, it could be like any era as well.
Anything. Any of your imagination inside that Star Wars game, and then a bit like how you kill people in GTA 5, you get crimes and all that.
Yeah.
You get a bounty on your head, and then a bounty hunter comes in and chases you and all that.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
That would be sick. To be fair.
Then if you like, let's say instead of your wanted level, you have all these holograms that keep coming up saying, "Have you seen this man?" Blah blah blah, whatever.
Yeah.
And as soon as you get to the highest like criminal ranking, if you're a rebel or a Jedi, a Star Destroyer comes and actually chases you.
That'd be amazing.
So you're basically on the run. That's what it is, and you have a choice whether you want to actually seduce yourself to the dark side and give in, or you can keep fighting the light. And there'll be like a balance thing on like your tab menu, so it tells you how much good you have in you and how much bad. And
that sounds awesome.
And by stealing cargo, killing innocent civilians, you'll sway to more of the dark side. But if you're saving people and destroying the Empire, you're going to the good side. And then you can choose. It's not server, but what planet you want to do it on. So you can do it on Naboo, Coruscant, and then you can buy yourself a ship, and then you modify that ship, and you can actually fly it yourself. So it's not like how you get into the ship and it transitions to a different planet. You get into the ship, and you can actually fly it out of the planet and into another planet.
See, that kind of brings it on nicely to my ideal Star Wars game. It's fairly reminiscent of so. You guys have probably heard of No Man's Sky, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
No Man's Sky for me is like it could have been, and it still can be, like the perfect game for me in terms of like exploration and stuff. Because for me with games, I love it being able to explore a vast open world, being able to do all these different things, and the fact that it's kind of sci-fi as well is great. And it's basically a near infinite universe on that game as well. That's the thing. So for me, like an ideal Star Wars game would probably be something almost like No Man's Sky, where there's like a vast universe where you get to explore basically like loads of the planet, different planets as well. Like it could just be some of the main ones like Tatooine, Dagobah, Coruscant, Ryloth, all these different things, you know, Naboo. But you start off in one planet. You know, you have to do these separate missions, earn money, buy a ship, upgrade your character through weapon slots, and all these different things to progress your character in such different ways that you can then, you know, go out into the universe, explore, depending on what era it's set in. Either it could be maybe Clone Wars, where you find out you're Force sensitive if it's got a story, and then you can either become a Sith or a Jedi. That would be awesome. Or if it was like in the kind of the era of the Galactic Civil War, then, you know, you could go and do crimes against the Empire and have bounties on your head and have like famous bounty hunters come after you or whatever, you know, like it would just be awesome. Like basically just an incredibly vast open world where you can explore multiple universes.
The way you're saying, you can look into like the solo film. So let's say, you know, Crimson Dawn.
Yeah.
You become the most baddest gangster or the baddest bounty hunter, and then you can actually work with Darth Maul.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like you earn a reputation, and like if you become like, if you find out you're Force sensitive, then again, depending on the era, perhaps you could be a Jedi or a Sith, or if it's a bit later on, or even if it is still Clone Wars, you can build a reputation, like a criminal reputation, and then actually people will like want to work, like crime syndicates will then want to work with you and stuff, you know. Like it would just be awesome. Like you could essentially just take your character to whatever direction you want. Essentially, you know?
The thing is, what I would like to say, like let's say if you want to be a bounty hunter or a smuggler, you don't have to have a blaster. You can choose your own weapon.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Like you can have like a lightsaber as a bounty hunter, you know.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like because there could have been people who kill Jedi, or there are people who could have potentially just killed Jedi and then have their lightsabers.
But you start off with off with a blaster if you're a bounty hunter.
Yeah, I would say like you just start off with like a really basic blaster,
and then you go to these markets and they'll have these on sale, like a Jedi saber on sale, and then you have to pay like 3,000 credits or whatever.
Yeah, that would be sick, to be fair.
And then you're very sloppy with it, but then you train with it and all that. So you're not just given a saber and you can do whatever you want. You get given a saber, then you train with it as well. So it's not like you're given that and say, okay, I can do this and that and the other, but you train yourself to do it.
Yeah, no, I think that'd be awesome. That would work.
Yeah, mine would be sort of what you guys have both said, but sort of building on that. So mine would be sort of open world, and you'd have like, aside from the open world thing, you'd have sort of like stories that you can do. In those stories, it's stuff from the films, like lightsaber battles, like Luke versus Vader, and you get to choose who you can be. So you can be Luke, you can be Vader, you can be anyone you want to be in these stories. And then aside from that, you obviously have the open world element, which is like what Aaron said. You can go around, you can be a bounty hunter, you can be a Jedi, you can be a Sith, smuggler, anything you want to be. And like he said, you have the bounties thing, and you know, you can travel to different planets, different worlds, different environments. You can have space battles, ground battles, something like that. I think would be really cool. And with the stories, going back to the stories, you can have, like I said, you can have anything you want. You can have, I don't know, an Obi-Wan story, a Yoda story, Revan, whatever. I think that'd be really cool. Sort of like, yeah, like movie scenarios, and you can unlock them, and I think they'd play out really nicely.
Yeah, actually, so you know GM, one of his ideal Star Wars games is actually like playing through the films and actually being in those scenarios and playing as like Han Solo and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, something like that would be really cool, I think. But then also have the open world element to it to go back to, so it's got like, you know, repeatability. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I think that'd be so cool. But obviously, they are dream games for a reason. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it'd be really cool to see all of them without a doubt.
Yeah, definitely. That's the thing. Like, Star Wars is evolving quite a lot. You know, there's loads of content to come, and I think, you know, we shouldn't be limited to films and TV series, comics, novels, and stuff like that. We need to expand more into actual, you know, more video games. So I think the part for me, I think for me, is that okay. This, I guess, this sets up quite nicely. Is who should have the license, or should any sole publisher have the license? And
I'd say LucasArts,
Mhm.
purely because of what they did when they did have the license previously, when they controlled games.
I
Obviously,
think LucasArts should just stay. Everything should just go back to LucasArts. If I'm honest.
yeah, I agree. But then, like we said before, like we mentioned before, you've got the thing where would they really be the same as what they were previously?
Well, the
I
thing
mean,
is, yeah,
you've got it with Lucasfilm. I mean, before they were great, and now you've got all this controversy over Lucasfilm. So would it be the same with LucasArts as well?
yeah, it's possible. But I mean, yeah, what's quite nice about like LucasArts is the fact that they did essentially like outsource to other, you know, to other companies like TT
Obsidian
did, the Lego Star Wars games, BioWare who did, was it BioWare who did Coastal Worlds, wasn't it?
Obsidian
Okay.
and BioWare, yeah.
And BioWare, yeah, there you go. So they kind of just like outsourced to other companies. Like they were the sole publisher, right? But they went to other studios and said, okay, okay, make these Star Wars games, you know. So I need a drink. Ugh.
Yeah, I think if LucasArts came back, yeah, I think it'd be really cool. And obviously, they could also continue on the projects that they previously cancelled as well. I mean, obviously, some of them aren't going to be, you know, canon.
But you never know. They could bring in Star Wars, The Force Unleashed 3.
Well, yeah, but that's not canon, though, is it? I was talking more like Star Wars Battlefront 3, maybe.
Oh yeah, that was a game I was looking forward to, but that got cancelled as well.
Yeah, I think if LucasArts came back, I think they'd do a lot better job than what EA are doing. But moving forward, do we think EA are going to improve?
I think so. I think if anything has taught me over the last few years about EA is actually that they have, mainly the last year really, is that actually they are they have realized their mistakes. They're trying to learn from them, and actually, you know, I think if Battlefront 2's anything to go by, is that actually, yeah, okay, they are learning from their mistakes, and I think EA should definitely kind of look at the situation with Battlefront 2 and gone, okay, right, so this was a really bad idea. We shouldn't do this again, or if we do, we need to develop it in such a way that actually works well for both players and us as a company. And they need to rebuild that. They need to regain people's trust, because I don't have any issue with EA making Star Wars games at all. I think they definitely have a great way to make Star Wars games. You know, they've got loads of different studios, which would be brilliant. So I don't think EA should like not make Star Wars games, but I just don't think that it should be limited to EA. That's the thing. Like, it shouldn't be limited to EA at all.
So you want like other companies to come in?
Yeah, so they should get a chance to actually create a Star Wars game.
And like that's the thing with LucasArts. Like back when that was the thing, that was essentially just LucasArts' name was over every Star Wars game, though, right? But you had people like TT Games, Obsidian, and BioWare, Pandemic, and all these things, right? So I think LucasArts should come back as a company. They should be essentially the overall publishers, but they should outsource to companies like EA who have all these different studios and be like, right, okay, this is a Star Wars game we want. These are the kind of Star Wars games we want. Like, we're going to pitch some ideas to maybe like, if they go to EA and go like, right, okay, we want you to make this kind of game, then, you know, EA could essentially go and do that, but it's under strict supervision of LucasArts, essentially, you know. So LucasArts have to whether they go straight to the studio or not, because like people like BioWare are under EA now, people are gonna. It would all go back to EA in general, to be fair. So LucasArts could go to EA and be like, right, okay, we want BioWare to make this game, and like what's really the thing is with Star Wars games is the fact that they surely are so profitable, and like they should definitely go and make more Star Wars games. That's the thing, because as I said, they are so profitable. The actual opportunity for Star Wars games are vast, and they are really missing out at the moment. And I think if they did expand to other publishers, then that goes back to the whole point earlier of LucasArts itself outsourcing to all these different studios. It meant that in 1 year we got so many different games.
Well, if EA do last till the end of the license, do you think it is possible that Disney could maybe bring back LucasArts for the gaming side of things?
I don't know. It depends on how EA develop over the next 5 years, because we're only halfway through the license now, essentially. Because I'm pretty sure it ends. Well, we're over halfway now, actually. Because I'm pretty sure it ends around like halfway through 2023, if I'm correct. So, yeah, I don't know. I think if EA like come out and like apologize for the past few years, essentially, or they go to them and apologize for what's happened over the last few years, and they come out with these amazing Star Wars games for the next few years, then I think it's possible that maybe either they get a contract extension and EA then just go and make more Star Wars games. It turns out like quite well. Or they still go to other publishers as well, just open it up a little bit. But that's if EA are quite do good or like great kind of thing. If they do poorly over the next few years, essentially like they have been doing now, then I think that then gets to the point where actually EA aren't gonna have the license. They're probably not going to be able to make any more Star Wars games. Disney will be like, right, okay, we need more. I think the problem is that. I mean, they say that the Lucasfilm Story Group work very closely with. So EA, like people at EA, work very closely with their partners at Lucasfilm. But I don't think Lucasfilm or Disney as a whole actually have that much of an enforcement on Star Wars games right now, and that is potentially why we've been in the situations we're in. Actually, is I think that Disney need to take more control.
Well, that's the thing with Battlefront 2, going back to that, because with Battlefront 2 is, EA had to blame for most of it. But then in terms of like skins and everything, DICE have to hold all that back because they always need approvals from Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for skins, they're just skins,
But it's because of the whole canon thing and everything, isn't it? So...
Yeah. Everything needs approval, like every single thing, because it's Star Wars, will need approval from Disney and Lucasfilm. If they
were releasing skins, it wouldn't take that long. They would just create the skins and then approve it from them, and then it should get released. That's it.
It does take quite a bit of time though for approval to come through though, because of all the official documentation.
You have it even with like the community transmissions and everything, don't you? Lucasfilm has to check every single thing that DICE put out.
Yeah,
whether it's a transmission, even if it's just a tweet, you have to check it and approve it, and it can take a long time.
Yeah, it does. It does take a long time to make. But that's the thing, like modeling a character, texturing them, rigging them, everything like that goes on with making a new skin or a hero. It does take a long time to go through. And then getting approval for everything takes just a very long time to get through, which is really frustrating. But it just depends on how long approval time takes. And again, I think it goes back to the thing that actually DICE are already a fairly small studio, and the fact that they've got 2 big games at the moment with Battlefield 5 and Battlefront 2 is that actually DICE are a pretty limited company, which it does limit them very much.
There's some things in the chat that I just want to quickly go over. Awesome14399 says that Branstad and Split Screen, you guys should do a reaction to Star Wars Theory's fan film.
we won't do it like a live. We're not doing a live reaction because we know that bad things will come of that. But yeah, if we're going off topic quickly on games and going to the Vader fan film, in short, it was all right. I didn't really enjoy it particularly that much, honestly.
I'm the complete same.
It was very much overhyped, in my opinion.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Agree.
Yeah,
I thought it's for 16 minutes. Really, it's not. It wasn't very good as I thought it would be.
Not even that. It was a 16-minute video, but a quarter of that was credits.
It was 12 minutes of Vader and Palpy talking to each other.
Basically.
I didn't like it. I think it was completely overhyped by all the Star Wars theory fans, and yeah, that's that. Go on.
Oh, I was just going to say, if I'm being honest, I am looking forward to the next episode, though.
Well, I mean, that's if he can get it done, because obviously...
if he can get it done, yeah.
Yeah, he needs all the money, doesn't he? The Star Wars guy said that he wants The Force Unleashed to be brought back into canon. He says the two can coexist in terms of Rebels and Force Unleashed. And he says The Force Unleashed 1 would take place after Rebels Season 2, before Season 3, and The Force Unleashed 2 and 3 will be set between Rebels Season 3 and 4. He says Rebels never shows us the formal formation of the rebellion, like the meeting of Bail, Mothma, and co. We just get that scene where the main forces meet over Dantooine. And then he says, The Force Unleashed would explain Vader's absence in the final 2 seasons of Rebels. Do you want Force Unleashed back in canon?
To be honest, I would say no. Just the reason being because Starkiller is just too powerful. He's way overpowered. He's just too powerful.
Well, that was actually for gameplay reasons because in the novel, he was not OP at all. He was just a normal, Jedi. The reason why they made him so powerful was for gameplay purposes.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if he was like just fairly all right, then I guess I wouldn't mind too much. But it's just the fact that.
Could it really coexist with Rebels, though?
I don't think so, to be honest.
I don't think it would work.
No, there's the whole thing of it would explain why Vader was absent in Rebels, but just Vader didn't really have a massive, there wasn't like a huge part for Vader to really play in Rebels anyway. Like, okay, it was like Phoenix Squadron and the Ghost Crew and all that stuff. It was a fairly big part, but they had Imperials to oversee and to kind of see that and stuff, and that's why we got Thrawn. Thrawn was there to oversee the TIE Defender program and essentially to oversee the dealings with Phoenix Squadron in a way. So we don't really need Vader, and I don't think it really matters why he was absent or not.
Yeah, I completely agree. I really don't think it would work, and I'm glad that they didn't. I'm glad that they didn't bring the Force Unleashed story into Rebels, because I think that would have just completely ruined it for what it was.
Yeah, because I mean, Filoni was debating it, wasn't he? He was thinking about it, but he didn't.
I think wasn't he thinking about Starkiller bringing him in?
Yeah, they were thinking about bringing Starkiller into Rebels, which I think it would have been very interesting, but I just don't think it would have worked.
Yeah, I just prefer how it is. I really do. Yeah. And Awesome also said that I heard that they might just make mobile Star Wars games because in the past they have made bank money from mobile games. Then he goes on to say, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes is really popular still, and as everyone knows, mobile games are much easier to make. Well, straight away, I don't think... I mean, we've already spoke about this, and they're gonna keep on making mobile games, yes, but they're not gonna make as many as what they was doing because Galaxy of Heroes is making them money. It's making them a lot of money. So I don't think they're gonna keep going to mobile games anymore. I really don't.
I mean, the thing is though, like if Galaxy of Heroes is making them so much money, it can just give them a bit more leeway with Battlefront 2, essentially. But at the same time, then just kind of helps them lead on to games like more console games. It gives them a better budget. Because I honestly can't see, like, Galaxy of Heroes is going to be making a huge amount of profit.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, there obviously will still be on-running costs with the game and all that stuff. But, yeah, I honestly don't think that there's so much profit there that EA kind of don't really need. So that actually, they can go and put this money back into other Star Wars console games,
Well, that's a good point, because do you think that some of the money that they're making from Galaxy of Heroes, they could maybe be putting some of that into Battlefront 2?
I definitely think so. Yeah, I mean, like it's at the moment at the end of the day, it's kind of still all EA. So there's probably just an overall budget for Star Wars games, essentially, where that then goes and splits into different games. Possibly that, or it should be like completely different games. But I think definitely the money that will be earned from Galaxy of Heroes could definitely be put back into other games like Battlefront 2. But I think there's that, or it's just the fact that actually, if Battlefront 2 aren't really making any money, if Battlefront 2 isn't really making any money for EA, then Galaxy of Heroes earning so much just gives Battlefront 2 a bit of leeway and kind of allows them to create a live service for Battlefront 2.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting, the fact that maybe they could be taking some of the money that they're getting from Galaxy of Heroes and putting it into Battlefront 2, because surely all the money that they're making from Galaxy of Heroes, surely that's not then going back into Galaxy of Heroes to make more content. Surely they don't need that much money.
I mean, yeah, there's going to be some, but there's there's going to be some, but they don't need, like, they definitely do not need all of it at all.
Yeah, without a doubt. The Star Wars guy just said, what do you guys think about Knights of the Republic 1, 2, Star Wars The Republic, and its DLC being adapted into a Netflix show or TV show for the Disney streaming service?
Well, there was already like a bunch of rumors that actually Netflix was going to have a TV show for Star Wars, which was potentially going to be Old Republic.
Well, there was a petition for it as well and everything, wasn't there?
Well, yeah, no, there was a whole petition for it, but I think that was just like an overall rumor for it anyway.
Well, then we've got the Disney streaming. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, with the Disney streaming service then coming out, I think maybe because of that whole situation, Disney kind of realized actually, well, Netflix is really popular as it is. There's Prime Video and there's other streaming services which actually Disney can very much capitalize on it, you know?
Plus, that if they did all 3 of them games plus the DLC, that would be like 10 seasons worth, if not more.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's just so much they can do with Disney Plus.
I mean, I'd love for them to do it, but I don't know. It'd be hard for them to do.
Yeah, no, definitely.
DJ says that he's enjoying the podcast and he's left a like.
Appreciate it.
And yeah, I think this first episode has been really good.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's worked out really well, actually. I think it's been going well. It's been nice.
I've enjoyed it as well.
It's been great having you on, Aaron.
I've enjoyed speaking with you guys and talking to the chat as well.
Yeah, no, it's good. Because yeah, like the fact that it obviously, it is a podcast and all that stuff, it does make it difficult to interact with the chat as much. So I do apologize, guys, for those in the chat, but hopefully it has been interesting to listen to.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed myself. It's been great because obviously we've been planning this for a while, and to see it all finally come together now, it's really nice.
Yeah.
I do apologise for the delay, everyone. It was meant to start at 2:30, but it started about an hour afterwards.
Well, firstly, we had technical issues, and then when we got rid of them technical issues, you then had technical issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was first scheduled to start at 2:30, then because of our technical issues, it went to 3:00, and then because of Aaron's technical issues, it might as well have been made to be scheduled at 3:30.
It was the Count Dooku community transition all over again.
Well, pretty much, actually, yeah. It's like the actual podcast happening was the transmission finally coming out. But, man.
So what were we thinking of Dooku so far?
I really like him, actually, yeah.
I'm enjoying him. Yeah, he's level 14 for me now, so...
Nice. Yeah, mine's only like level 4 or 5 at the moment, I think. But he's like 50 XP away from level 5.
He's a very good character to play with.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
Especially if you're a hero on the other side and you go against Count Dooku. I'm sorry to say, but you'll be destroyed because his duelist ability will completely mess you up.
But the thing is that actually
you cannot block with that ability.
Can you because obviously there's duelist, which if you put that on, you get increased damage. But then if you use exposed weakness, that decreases the character's damage resistance. So does that actually mean that actually you'll do if you essentially use them both at the same time? I don't know if you can do if you can use them both at the same time, that would be incredibly overpowered. I don't think you can actually.
I don't know. I use blind spot and the 2 health cards. That's about it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't actually thinking about it now. You probably can't use expose. You won't be able to use it.
No.
Oh wait, no, you can. No, that's the thing because you can actually target someone with exposed weakness first, probably. I don't know. I'm trying to think you can, and then everything's just telling me no, you won't be able to.
All that does is just slows you down. Basically, it just slows you down.
Yeah. Well, the thing with exposed weakness is, it slows down a character, but it also means that you receive more damage per hit.
Damage. Yeah.
So I'm just wondering if you're able to stack both exposed weakness and duelist, it would be seriously overpowered. But thinking about it, you probably can't actually. But going back to how Dooku is, I think visually he's really good. It's probably the best they can do, really. His abilities are a lot of fun to use actually as well. They're very different to anything else. And his lightning stun, the way it just makes it look like it does in the film, like it almost like picks the character up. As you push someone back, they lift up and then go down with lightning on them.
Well, I was actually speaking to Tommy yesterday about the lightning stun. It actually reminds me of what Snoke does to Kylo Ren.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah,
because when Snoke goes, "You failed," he unleashes lightning from the ground and it just knocks him back.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it reminds me of. That's why I love him so much because he's got a bit of a Snoke feel to him as well.
Yeah, because I mean the thing with Snoke is the fact that he literally forces it into the ground. But I think with Count Dooku, it is more like an aerial thing. I don't think it fully goes onto the floor, but it does kind of go down and it pushes them. It is very reminiscent of Snoke, to be fair, actually, but it is so cool. It's such cool ability.
See, leading up to Dooku being released on Twitter and everything, I saw a lot of people saying that out of the new heroes that were coming, Dooku was the most anticipated and they was most excited for. So, do we think that he's lived up to the hype now that he's come out?
I think I'm really happy to see him come out now. I'm not like amazing with him, to be fair, but I'm enjoying him so far. I'm interested to see how Anakin plays out, but yeah, I mean,
I think I'm more hyped for Anakin other than Dooku.
Yeah, I mean,
Anakin's going to be one of the best, most tankiest. He's going to be the tankiest hero in that game. I can easily tell he's going to be the light side version of Darth Vader, which obviously he is.
Yeah,
but I can easily tell he's going to be really strong.
He definitely is. I mean, the the lead hero designer Guillaume, he has already said he's already dubbed Anakin a powerhouse. His leaked lightsaber animations, they've been put onto Count Dooku, but they are very, very reminiscent to how Vader is in the game actually as well. So yeah, he's gonna be insane.
Going back to the chat, the Star Wars guy again. He says, will you guys do a rewatch of each of the movies in the weeks leading up to episode 9 and then do sort of a group discussion on each of the movies in this podcast?
I'd quite like that, actually, yeah. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, there's been loads of things that we've talked about that we'd like to do, the podcast and everything. And I think that's a really good idea. I'll definitely be watching. I mean, I rewatch the movies anyway, but especially leading up to episode 9, I'll definitely be rewatching the movies. And yeah, we can definitely get him into the podcast without a doubt.
Yeah, no, definitely. That'd be really good.
And Cyclone says, yo guys, this is really deep into Star Wars in general and Battlefront. Hats off to you.
We do our best.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm really enjoying it.
Right? Yeah, we're...
Mark.
Yeah?
What are you, Mark?
Oh, I was going to say. All right. Apologies. But yeah, no, like we're really passionate about Star Wars and the games and all that stuff, you know. So we're always going to try and do the best we can, you know, getting the information.
We're all passionate about Star Wars, so we're going to
give it our
all anyway.
Exactly.
Well, that's the beauty of all. That's why we can have all these sort of discussions, because at the end of it all, it's because of our love for Star Wars, and that's the beauty of it all.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's just what makes all this so special. So, you know, I'm really grateful that we've been able to do this, and yeah, I'm really excited to see where it takes in the future, without a doubt.
Yeah, definitely, it's gonna be good.
And you know, we'll definitely get Aaron on again for another podcast, without a doubt.
Definitely.
I'd love to do that as well.
Yeah, we'll get some other people as well, and yeah, I'm really excited for what's coming up.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. And that's the thing with Star Wars, like evolving and getting so much content to come, is that there's
There's
genuinely
always
a lot for
more
us
things to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's going to be the best part about it all, because especially with 2019, because obviously we've got all this new content coming for Star Wars, and we're going to be able to talk about all of it.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I've really enjoyed myself this podcast, and I think it's been a brilliant way to start things off. And
definitely.
Yeah, I'm hyped.
Yeah, 2019 is going to be such a good year. It's going to be great to see how things evolve into 2020 as well.
But I'm really hyped for Fallen Order. I think that's the game I'm so hyped about.
Fallen Order is going to be really, really good. I can't wait for that.
So last thing, 2019, what are you most excited for in Star Wars?
What, Star Wars in general, like game?
Yeah,
or the
no,
movies?
just in general, anything that's coming, that's announced.
I know it seems bad, but I'm looking forward to Episode 9 just to see how it's going to turn out to be.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Because JJ's doing it. You know, JJ. To me, I think JJ did a good job in The Force Awakens, and then Ryan Johnson ruined it in The Last Jedi. And then JJ did say he's going to fix what the Ryan Johnson did. So I'm actually kind of looking forward, and he's also bringing in all three trilogies together.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
so is he going to bring in, Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen, is Obi-Wan and Anakin going to come back? That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I think
that's what is one of the things I'm more hyped about.
Yeah, Episode 9 has so much potential story-wise anyway, and given what JJ said about how it's going to tie in like all of the trilogies together, like it's genuinely, I'm seriously looking forward to it. It's going to be so good to see how this trilogy finishes off and how it treats everything else. The potential following from The Last Jedi to really wrap things up is, I'd say, it's pretty huge. So I'm probably looking forward to Episode 9 more than anything. But, there is things like The Mandalorian, which I'm very looking forward to as well. But Episode 9, I think, for me, is at the top.
So you both say Episode 9?
Yeah. What about you?
See, I don't know if it really counts, but I'm really looking forward to probably the most is Celebration, because we're going to get all these news, we're going to get trailers, things already announced, we're going to get more information, we're going to get stuff that we don't even know about yet, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I'd say if I had to choose something specifically, I would probably say Clone Wars, just because I'm really hyped for it, and obviously it's finishing off the story that we never got, and now we're finally getting it. And
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm really hyped for that. But overall, I'd say Celebration without a doubt.
Yeah, Celebration is going to be really good, actually. Yeah, it is going to be awesome. There's a lot.
It says you guys been keeping up with Resistance.
I have.
I'm not watching that. I'm not going into Resistance and all that. I stopped watching. I watched the Clone Wars and Rebels, but when Resistance was released, I didn't pay any attention to it because it wasn't for me. It's more of a kids' cartoon, if you know what I mean.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, Clone Wars, not so much, but Rebels was sort of aimed. Rebels was kind of aimed at a younger audience than Clone Wars, I think, for sure. And
well, I mean, all of Star Wars is aimed at a younger audience. If you listen to George Lucas, I mean, he said before that the original trilogy was aimed at 12-year-olds.
Yeah,
and he said he doesn't know how. When all these, older people and adults started, getting interested in it, and he was totally shocked by it because, like I said, it was totally meant for a younger audience, 12-year-olds.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, exactly. And Clone Wars did definitely start out as like a kids' TV show. I mean, it was on like for us in England, it was on like Cartoon Network and stuff like that. So it's definitely Clone Wars and Rebels have definitely been aimed at kids. Resistance again. Resistance is aimed at kids, but it's aimed at a younger audience than Rebels and Clone Wars for sure. But actually, to be honest, I'm actually quite enjoying it. And the recent episode, like the last episode, has had some serious tie-ins to Force Awakens, actually. So I'd say it's definitely getting better as it goes along. It is tying into TFA quite nicely, and I'm actually kind of enjoying it right now. It's whilst it's not like fully, like properly serious as such, I guess, that you see in the films, but I find it fun to watch. I always find myself having a bit of a giggle and smiling while I'm watching it and stuff like that, to be honest. So yeah, I'm actually enjoying Resistance so far, and I'm looking forward to seeing it progress.
Yeah, when it first got announced and it said it was going to go between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens, obviously it's not a time period that we've not really explored yet much, and so I was really excited for it. But then they said like it's going to be manga style, and then they showed the actual trailer, and it just looked. It wasn't for me, and then I thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a chance because it's Star Wars at the end of the day, and it could turn out to be good. So I gave it a chance, and don't get me wrong, it's not nowhere near as good as Rebels or Clone Wars, but I think it's good enough for me to sit and watch. And yeah, I think it pleasantly surprised me, which is always good, and I've been enjoying it. I still need to catch up on a few episodes since it's came back, but yeah, I was enjoying it.
Yeah, definitely.
I think I might get into it.
Yeah, just give it a chance.
Yeah,
at
I'll
least.
give it a chance. Yeah.
He also says Clone Wars Season 7, boys. Totally hyped for that. Yeah, without a doubt. Cyclone says, is it most excited for The Mandalorian? Because it goes into a group of people we know very little about.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars guy said Clone Wars was super kiddie in its first season. Yeah, like Rebels was super kiddie at first, I'd say as well.
Yeah,
but they all matured a lot as the seasons went on, in my opinion.
Like, for me, the first season, the way I can kind of remember is that the first season and a half. So season 1 and first half of season 2 was quite kiddie.
Yeah, as soon as Ahsoka came back, that just flipped it straight away.
Towards the end, with Ahsoka coming back and all that stuff, it just like changed it. Season 3 and season 4 were just awesome. They really were good.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I really enjoyed Rebels and Clone Wars, even like the first sort of, with Clone Wars, the first few seasons.
Yeah.
They were a bit sort of, if you want to put it as that, super kiddie, but I still like the stories overall, and they just kept on getting better and better and more darker. So, yeah, I really enjoyed them.
Yeah.
So overall, are we excited for the future of Star Wars games?
I'm really excited for the whole future of Star Wars in general, but yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the future of Star Wars games. There's a lot of potential, and I just hope that we're able to actually exploit that.
Aaron?
I am. I'm definitely looking forward to the games in the future.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I'm still I want to be excited, of course I do, but I'm just hopeful that we're going to get some good Star Wars games. I don't even care whether it's EA or not, as long as we get some good Star Wars games.
At the moment now, what we've been told about with Fallen Order, I mean, that's the one I'm really looking forward to. So yeah, I am excited for that. But if I see the trailer and it looks absolute garbage, then obviously my opinion might change.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see what happens. I need to see gameplay as well.
Yeah, gameplay. That's the main thing. That's the biggest thing. A trailer could be bad, but if you have a look at the gameplay, it'll change your mind completely.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the chances are that the trailer will be good because, let's face it, Star Wars trailers, whether it's movies or games, they're normally the best around, aren't they?
Except for The Last Jedi, but yeah.
What, the trailer for The Last Jedi?
Trailer was good, but the film was awful.
Yeah, that's what I mean, the trailers, yeah. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Fallen Order, as long as they don't mess it up.
That's maybe not.
And yeah, future Star Wars games. I won't say the future's looking bright, but I'm hopeful. I'm
hoping they're going to bring out the remaining Lego games.
Yeah, Lego Star Wars games.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
Yeah, Lego Star Wars games. No Battlefront 3 at all. Keep it with Battlefront 2. Fallen Order. Come up with, like Fallen Order, original Star Wars games. Yeah, I'm hyped. I'm really looking forward to it.
It's good. Honestly, I think the future looks bright in terms of Star Wars games. To be honest, like we've gone through the dark period, I think now, and hopefully we can just push on through this year and get some Star Wars games coming out in the next few as well. I mean, with Star Wars, like if I've learned anything from Star Wars, it's to always have hope. So I'm always clinging on to hope.
Hope cannot save them.
Hope cannot save them. Oh god. But yeah, I'm always hopeful. I'm always hopeful.
But yeah, I think that's more or less it. I think we've gone through everything. Battlefront 2, Galaxy of Heroes, Old Republic, Fallen Order, cancelled open world Star Wars game. It's been a really interesting chat, and yeah, it's been great.
Yeah,
Thank you for allowing me to come on.
So,
have
you guys got anything coming up in terms of your channels and everything that you want to talk about first?
Aaron, you can go first.
I don't think I've got a lot. I want to get to 1,000, or as soon as I get to 1,000, I'm not sure at 500 or 1,000, I'm going to do a face reveal. But that's probably the big thing that's going to come up for the channel anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to do a lot of stuff with. I'm thinking about collabing with Tommy and Tubby as well. So we're gonna try and see if we can collab and get some stuff done with the channel and all that.
Nice, that sounds good.
Yeah, Jedi Singh's description is in description. Jedi Singh's channel link is in the description below, so make sure to go and check him out if you haven't already. He covers Battlefront 2, and like you said, he's got some plans for the future in terms of vlogs. Yeah, great guy, so make sure to go and check him out. Mark?
Yeah, well, obviously you're on my channel at the moment, but yeah, like I've done a channel update video a few weeks ago. There's a lot of older Star Wars games that will be coming onto the channel eventually when I get the laptop. When I hit 1K, there's the whole face reveal thing, which I'm really like thinking about now. I'm crapping myself for because it's actually it's been coming along pretty damn fast recently. So yeah, I'm bricking it for that really.
You're less than 200 subs away, so be careful.
Dude, I know it's 154 away. Like,
oh wow,
I regret like. Yeah, I'm like really awkward in front of camera and all that stuff. So I genuinely have absolutely no idea how I'm going to do it. But yeah,
you'll be absolutely fine, mate.
That'll come out at like around 1K ish. But yeah, I mean that's that really. I'm really looking forward to it. You've already seen my face, interesting. But yeah, like that's kind of the next big thing, I suppose. And after 1K, I'll just keep on the grind and hope to make it somewhere, you know.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to where both your channels go in the future.
Yeah, what about you?
Well, we look forward with your channel going in the future as well.
It's going to be good, yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I've just had this whole streaming situation. So obviously, I can't stream, but videos, I've got. Probably going to be my next video. Mark already knows what it is. It's something a lot different. It's going to be meme central, and I'm really looking forward to release it because I think it is really funny. I finished recording it yesterday, and when I was listening back to it, I just couldn't stop laughing.
God.
I still have to put it together and everything, but. But yeah, hopefully I can get that out soon. I'm really looking forward to people watching it and giving me the feedback. Yeah, aside from that, just carrying on with low videos and everything. Obviously the podcast and yeah, hopefully we'll be back in the next 2 weeks or so. Hopefully with another guest or two.
Yeah, it should be good.
And yeah, but thank you very much for everyone listening in, of course, and for Aaron joining us. It's been great.
Thank you very much.
It's been good to have you. Whoa.
It's over to you to wrap it up, Mark.
Well, as I said, Brandster and Jedi Singh, their channels are in the description below. So if you haven't gone and subscribed to them already, please go and do so. We really appreciate that. Massive thank you to Aaron for coming on today, and obviously a big thanks to Brandster for being the legendary co-host that he is. But yeah, hopefully you guys have all enjoyed the podcast. We'll be back at some point, probably in the next 2 weeks, with possibly a guest. You know, we'll have to announce that at some point, and as well as a topic. That's going to be it for today's podcast. So thank you all very much for, I was going to say watching, but listening. And, you know, may the force be with you guys always.